Yes, people. Welcome back to another damn stream. Why is that audio playing through there? I have no idea. But yeah, people, make sure you are smashing them likes. You're subscribing to the channel. We have got a lot of news to unpack in today's show. Kerkez and Wirtz on the verge of here we goes. We've also got Luis Diaz talks, Darwin Núñez. Liverpool have actually almost signed another player, and it's not Kerkez or Wirtz. We've almost signed our second signing of the summer. And believe it or not, it's not Kerkez or Wirtz. So we're going to dive into that as well. We're going to bring up all the news. We've got 38 people in the building. Let's get those likes up to 20 ASAP. People, we're going to be bringing people on the show today. We've got some guests coming on. So let's get those likes up, and we're going to be diving into today's news. So yeah, let's get those likes up, and we're gonna dive straight into it. We're already on 10 likes, got 40 people in the building, nice and early. Big up your damn selves, people. So we're gonna start off with Liverpool signing somebody probably no one has ever heard of, but we're gonna be bringing it up. We'll start off with that in today's news. So Fabrizio Romano, exclusive. Liverpool are set to agree a deal to sign 20-year-old goalkeeper Amrin Percy from Puskas Academia, is that how you pronounce it? For a record sale for the Hungarian club, as Percy has said, yes, Liverpool project. Final details, club to club, all done. Player side, here we go soon. So yeah, Liverpool about to make their second signing of the summer, theoretically. The fee hasn't been obviously, announced or whatever, but so people, we're discussing. People coming in the chat asking about Wirtz and Kerkez. We are going to be speaking about them. When we get to 25 likes, we'll bring up the Kerkez news because Fabrizio Romano has spoken on that situation. So yeah, let's get these likes up, people. Come on, man. Get those likes hitting. Let's get smashing the like button. So let's aim for, how many likes are we on? 12 likes, 13. Let's try and get those up to 20 likes. Big up to Jordan, as the chat is today the day. Big up to Messi, Messi's watching me, come on, smash the likes. Here we go today. Big up, Kerkez. What's the signing? Well, this is the signing we're talking about. I'm getting sick and tired of the same old crap every day. Either Kerkez or Wirtz are coming to Liverpool, or they are not. We're going to be speaking about that, mate. We are going to be speaking about that. All I'm saying is just relax on the situation. That is just my opinion. Yeah, people. So let's aim. We're already on 20 likes. Wow, big up to the community. So yeah, let's aim for now 30 likes in today's stream. Big up to BR Games TV. So Liverpool are about to sign a player. When I looked onto Twitter this morning, I saw exclusive Liverpool set to agree deal. I thought, oh my god, Wirtz or Kerkez. And then I saw 20-year-old goalkeeper. I was like, oh Jesus Lord. And then yeah. So I mean, look, Kelleher's leaving. I don't really know what's happening with Yaros. Has that been confirmed? So yeah, we need a third backup goalkeeper. He'll come up through the ranks, probably have a loan spell or two. That's just how it's probably going to go in that sort of business. Yeah, we'll move on to... What should we move on to next? We'll move on to Cody Gakpo. So there's a big news, guys. We are going to be speaking about Wirtz and Kerkez. When we get to 30 likes, we'll bring the news up on that. So FC Bayern's obviously Christian Falk has said Cody Gakpo. We've heard that Cody Gakpo could imagine signing a new contract at Liverpool. So Bayern aren't sure yet whether they're just being used as a pawn. Bayern realised that it's not an easy feat to bring in a player from Liverpool to Munich. In my opinion, I actually don't think they want Cody Gakpo. I actually don't think they want Cody Gakpo. I believe, in my humble opinion, This is just PR to drive up, because they've missed out on Wirtz, etc. And also the situation that Liverpool might be selling Luis Diaz. So I think it's very easy to link Cody Gakpo as well. I'll be shocked if we sell Cody Gakpo to Bayern Munich, if I'm being honest. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I would absolutely be shocked if we sold Cody Gakpo. But yeah, guys, already inside 10 minutes, we're already on 26 likes. Let's get those likes up to 30. Come on, people, let's get them smashed. Get subscribing to the channel. We are now 5 subs away from 1,380. So let's try and hit that in today's stream, if that is obviously possible. But yeah. Yaros is staying as third choice, to the best of my knowledge. Yep. Cody Gakpo going nowhere. I will say big up. Yeah, big up to every single person in the chat. So I'm going to run a poll, guys. Would you consider selling Gakpo to Bayern for a good fee? Yes or no? Let's run that poll. Would you sell Cody Gakpo to Bayern for a good fee? And that fee, let's say around 70 million plus, upwards of 70 million. I'm intrigued to see what the people think in the sense of, would they sell Cody Gakpo for the right price? Because I asked the question yesterday about Luis Diaz, and I want to ask it about Cody Gakpo. So let's get those that question asked. Let's see what else. While we're on 30 likes, big up to the people. Let's get those hit. We've got 90 people in the building. Big up to every single one of you. But yeah. Let's get those likes hit. We've got over 100 people. Let's aim for 40 likes. Come on, people. 7 likes away from 40 already in today's stream. Big up, brother. Liverpool won't sell Gakpo. I don't think we'll sell Cody Gakpo. But I'm intrigued to see what the public think. Would you consider selling Cody Gakpo for the right price? Do you know what I mean? Plettenberg, Bomber, Cherky. Ooh. What's this? Leon have rejected the first offer from Manchester City for Ryan Cherky. The second offer is now being prepared. Negotiations are ongoing. Cherky is waiting for an agreement between the clubs. Total relaxed and fully focused on his match against Germany on Sunday. He could possibly be in the starting 11 after his excellent performance against Spain. Yeah, he was good last night, to be fair to him. Is that the Bomber you're referring to? Was that the Bomber you was referring to? Or not? But yeah, people, we have over 120 people in the building. Big up to every single down one of yourselves, man. I'm really intrigued. I mean, there's a massive portion of who are saying no. So it is clear in favour that Liverpool fans will not be up for selling him. Kerkez, here we go today. I promised the chat we will see a here we go by Sunday. My is on the line, so let's hope. Plussenberg Bomber. Nope. Who do we replace Gakpo with? Gakpo and Diaz are likely to stay. I think, yeah, the 100% are likely to stay. Guys, a lot of people think I actually want people like Gakpo and Diaz sold. I actually don't. I want them at the football club. I actually do. But the thing is, I'm just asking the questions to the public. You know what I mean? Would rather sell my left toe than Gakpo? Hi guys from Malonga. Sorry if I literally butchered that. I really do apologize. Big up to you damn self. Storm in the teacup. What a name. You never walk alone, of course, my brother. Liverpool should go for either Nick Woolmaid or Ritugui. Is that the guy from the Serie A striker? The second name. Brav, you've named your streams. Let's here we go. For about 3 days in a row, your rep is not looking good. I mean, it's not about rep. It's about what's being released to the public. It's about what's being released to the public. I mean, they are Verge on there. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano literally tweeted that the other day about Wirtz. Here we go soon and all that. So, yeah. I would get rid of Nunes rather than Cody Gakpo. Yeah, I think everyone's in the same boat. Diaz next season still got 2 years. The thing is with Luis Diaz, right? And I've had this argument. He's got 2 years left on his contract. I think the club are selling Luis Diaz. I'm actually going to put this out there and say I'll be shocked if he stays. Because literally David Ornstein even confirmed that the club aren't even talking to him about a new contract. He's got 2 years left. He's on 55 grand a week. He's openly admitted that he is talking to other clubs. Okay, let's run this poll. Sell Diaz for 80 mil. Yes. No. Right, we've done the Gakpo one. So a lot of people are saying 80% said keep Gakpo. I think it's going to be very mixed for Diaz, especially for that price. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Get voting. We are also 7 likes away from 50. So let's aim for that. You never walk alone. Big up yourself, brother. This club has made it clear that they don't want to sell Diaz. Yeah, I think. But the thing is, I think if a right price comes in for him, I think this football club sell him. In my opinion, I think this football club sells him. If the right price comes in, that's just my opinion. I think this football club sells if the right price comes in for Diaz. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, big up yourselves, everyone. Get liking, get subscribing. This club has made it. Yeah. But the thing is, who do you want to replace Diaz? I would not sell him. Well, I'm going to speak about a potential name that I would sell him for. And it got breaking news last night. So, yeah, Gakpo. I think everyone's confirmed that Gakpo will set the club. I'm convinced he would. I gave my reasons on why. This is what I wanted to bring up as the main topics. This got released last night. Breaking, Rodrigo is now likely to leave Real Madrid this summer. The club demand 18 million euros fixed, and the final sale price would be around about 100 million euros. So they would want about 60 million up front and the rest in add-ons. So about 15 million pounds in add-ons. I guarantee you now, every single person would sell Luis Diaz for Rodrigo at the same price. So if we sold Luis Diaz to, let's say Saudi for 80 million, just say that happens, right? They want 60 million and then 20 million add-ons. I would be shocked if Liverpool are not sniffing around that deal. We know Liverpool have always liked Rodrigo from the days back at his days at Santos. From when he was back at Santos, the club always wanted him. Do you know what I mean? The club have always wanted him. And I would be shocked if we don't even try the punt of not getting him. I heard the Wirtz deal could be confirmed early by next week. Build have said, yep, I will bring that up. Rodrigo to Arsenal. I think out of the clubs he's linked with, he's likely to go to Arsenal the most. I mean, this is what Ben Jacobs had to say on the situation. Rodrigo's situation remains a ones to watch this summer. Arsenal interest is genuine, but no approach yet. One of several options Andre Berta is broadly considering. Other Premier League clubs also discussed back in May, including Chelsea and Liverpool, but no meaningful approach from either. Chelsea, aware of the market opportunity, but I have other priorities as it stands, including Jeremy Gittins, obviously Hugo Ekitike. Also, long-standing Saudi interest in Rodrigo dating back as far as summer 2023. As revealed, Real Madrid are open to a sale of 1900 mil package, but Rodrigo's side are now fully soaked on Xabi Alonso and understanding his plans. So yeah, it ultimately depends on. I think if Xabi Alonso wants to keep him, he will stay. If Xabi Alonso wants to keep him, he will stay at Real Madrid. If he's kind of like here and there, I think he will leave, because I would be shocked if clubs are not willing to pay the money of 60 million plus 20 million add-ons. Diaz does not want to go to Saudi. I mean, he's not exactly come out and said that. Got to go to TC. Everyone, big up yourself, mate. Tuning in. I take Rodrigo. You know what? Let's cancel that poll. Let's cancel that poll for a second. Are you selling Luis Diaz for Rodrigo? Yes. No. Let's start that poll. What are the people thinking? Rodrigo doesn't have the legs for the Premier League. What do you mean he doesn't have the legs? Could sell Diaz for centre back, buy for Fafana, put the rest of the order centre back on CDM. But the thing is, I won't worry too much about that, what you just said there, because I think we'll buy a centre back regardless of who we sell. So if we sold a Jarrell Kwanzaa or a Joe Gomez, I think Liverpool would go and buy a centre back. I actually think the midfield is the most likely part of the pitch where Liverpool have just not really got a heavy interest in. If something comes alight, like we've seen Liverpool have always got interests in players and positions all over the pitch. But in the sense of, if something came as an opportunity, like the Kvaratskhelia thing, but PSG was just far too ahead in the deal, I think Liverpool would, Google it. Sources are close to Diaz have confirmed he does not want to go to Saudi. I mean, I think if they offered him a bag, I think he would. I think if Barcelona can come up with the 80 million, I think he's gone. There's no way. If Barcelona offered us 70, 80 million, there is not a chance he stays at the club, because that's obviously his dream to play for Barcelona, etc. So far the votes, are saying that 80% are saying they would sell Diaz for Rodrigo. Interesting. I'm intrigued by this one. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, get voting, people. Get liking and subscribing to the channel. We're 6 likes away from 60. Wow, big up to every single person that has liked the stream. Let me just type up some. Let me just message somebody that I've got coming on the show. Right, I've just messaged someone to see if they're going to come on the show, so bear with him. And he's a Bayern Munich fan, so we're going to be speaking about Florian Wirtz and stuff. But yeah, people, I'm intrigued to see how this Rodrigo story is going to develop, because I think I would be shocked, man, if Liverpool don't have an interest in him. I really would. Let's go through some more of the comments. People get liking and subscribing. We're 1 sub away from we're 21 subs from 1.4k. So get subscribing, get liking if you want to stay up to the latest Liverpool content. I worry about selling 4 or 5 players. Then are the best players have we got? If we do, wait, I worry about us selling 4 or 5 players. Then either all the best players have gone. What do you mean? Barcelona can't afford them. Yeah, that's the thing. Barcelona should be able to put them on. The thing is, I just don't think Barcelona can afford them, guys. I just don't think they can. By the way, people, we have over 190 people in the building. Let's get these likes up to 70. Get subscribing. Taking the piss with this Verge deal. Bro, we're going to be bringing that up, mate. Nunes should be sold. Well, we're going to be speaking about Darwin Nunes later, mate, because it looks like Al Hilal have open talks with him. Got a feeling about Gordon not dead in the water. I've said that since last summer, mate. I've said that since last summer. 44 votes are in. 64% are saying yes, they would sell Luis Diaz. 36 are saying no. I'm intrigued to see the reasons of why people would say no. Sorry, but I will sell Curtis Jones, keep Elliott, sell Jota, keep Diaz. I agree with the last part. The first part, I would rather keep Curtis, just mainly because he suits our system better than Harvey Elliott. Kerkez already left Hungary to finalise his move, and Liverpool have made his medical soon to be announced by Liverpool player by next week. I think I was speaking in the chat, right? When do we think we'll see the Here We Go? I think Kerkez Here We Go is coming before Wirtz. I think we see the Kerkez Here We Go by Monday night. If we don't see it by Monday night, have like Michael Edwards and that passed away, because I'm only joking, by the way. We should sell Elliott, Jota, Darwin, Tsimikas, and Gomez and contact by a centre back and striker. So we're selling half of the flipping depth to buy 2 players. Rodrigo's good, bro. Rodrigo's an absolute baller, mate. He's an absolute stonewall baller. We should sell, players to replace the ones we sell, i.e. Diaz sold, etc. Rodrigo being sold to Arsenal, etc. So we would be better off keeping. Our forward line next season will likely be Diaz, Gakpo, Jota, Salah, and a new striker. Yeah, people, we have over 200 people in the building. Let's get these likes up to 70. Get subscribing to the channel, set to the latest football and Liverpool content. Sell Jota and Darwin, keep Diaz. If I know the players to replace Diaz, may change my mind, but I'm going about that. But I want to know the options. Okay, would you consider Gordon? Would you consider Nico Williams, Rodrigo? And we're in Newcastle are back in for Gomez. Hey, if Newcastle are back in, we should be back in for Gordon, mate. Diaz isn't going anywhere. Same as Gakpo. Gakpo isn't going anywhere. Gakpo's not. I will be shocked if Cody Gakpo was to be sold this up and coming window. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, people, let's aim for 70 likes. We've got 200 people watching. I really want to push for 1.4. We are 18 subs from 1.4k subs. So let's try and get closer towards that today. 6 likes away from 70. If Real Madrid sell Rodrigo, they'll ask for 100 million or 100 million euros. And that's Ben Jacobs has reported that. Reports in Spain have reported that. So I believe they would probably sell Rodrigo for a fee of 60 to 65 million. 15, 20 mil add-ons, whatever that would be. That would be like if he wins the champs, scores amount of goals. We know how add-ons work. If it was Rodrigo, yes, we'll sell Diaz, not Gordon, possibly Nico. Fair enough. I think Gomez should be sold. He's not consistent with his defending. But I do think one of the centre-backs will be sold. However, the poll is looking kind of close right now. Would you sell Luis Diaz for Rodrigo? 55 are saying yes. 45 are saying no. That is interesting, people. That is interesting. Interesting to definitely say the least. But yeah, people, let's get liking on the stream. We're 3 likes away from 70. So do you think we could push for 100 likes in today's stream? Is that possible? 100 likes in today's stream. We could be possibly able to do that. I think Gomez should be sold. But look, I think Gomez will be sold. Either him or Kwanzaa will be sold if a good offer obviously comes in. But I'm intrigued to see how this Rodrigo situation does develop, because I do think Liverpool would have a strong interest in him. It looks like Arsenal, their interest is concrete. Obviously, he does say Rodrigo's situation remains a once to watch this summer. Arsenal interest is genuine, but no approach yet. One of several options Andre Berti is broadly considering. I think it'll be interesting for Arsenal, because if you think about it with Arsenal, right? If you think about it, what you have to consider, they need a striker. You could argue they need more. They need more players than us. They need a left winger. They need a striker. Right now, once Liverpool have got Wirtz and Kerkez over the line, Liverpool are chill, because Darwin Núñez is going to be sold and we're going to bring him forward. We would effectively probably only need one more player. You know. I think you're dismissing Diaz because of his age. If I said Diaz would give you the same output for the next 2 years, would you keep him? Yes. But the thing is, right, Darren, and we've had this conversation on streams a couple of times. I would keep Luis Diaz. I would keep Luis Diaz at the football club. But the difference is the club will look at it as 55 grand a week, 2 years left on his deal. Can we rely on Luis Diaz to put up the same numbers as this season just gone? You know? And I know people say, oh, but what about Rodrigo's numbers? Rodrigo, one, is playing out of position. He's in the limelight of killing Mbappe, Bellingham, Valverde, Vinny Jr., Mbappe, etc. And I feel like if he was to go to a club and be the main man, he would explode. And he's not really a goal-scoring winger. If you actually watch him, he's more of a creative winger, to be honest. Seeing that Al Hilal need a striker, as Oshman rejected, hopefully they will come in for Núñez with a big fee. Yes, that is true, mate. That is 100% true what you've just brought up there, by the way. That is 100% true. That is 100% true. Let me just send the link to somebody. Copy. Let me just send the link. Need to send the link to somebody. People bear with 1 minute. Now, how do I do this? Let's paste that. Send that link to there. But yeah, people, we are 9 likes from 80. So let's try and push for that in today's stream. If that's obviously possible. Let me just message him 1 second. But yeah. But yeah, let's get 6 more likes on today's stream if that is possible. We're also now 15 away. Can we hit 1.4k subscribers today? I guess we'll find out. Yes, we can rely on Diaz. It's not old, man. Come on. Bro, the thing is, I like Luis Diaz, guys. I want Luis Diaz to say, I like him at the football club. If Liverpool kept him, I ain't going to complain. I am not going to complain. However, right? However, Michael Edwards and that will look at it as if we sell Luis Diaz, we can go for a younger version. We can go and get a Rodrigo, potentially a Nico Williams, potentially an Anthony Gordon, who they've all had interest in the past. And will the club really think, can Luis Diaz back up the numbers he's just done and do it again next season? These are questions you have to ask yourself. However, the poll, we've had over 121 votes. 52% are only saying yes. 48% are saying no. For me, would I sell Luis Diaz for Rodrigo? If the rumors of they are willing to sell him for that price, yes. Don't sell Luis Diaz. Have you seen anything about Nick Mormons as a squad option? I ain't seen too much. However, I've heard of him. Any news on Florian? We will be bringing up the news on Florian Wirtz and Kerkez very shortly, mate. We're just talking about all the little bits first, and then we're building up to the big two later in the show. But make sure to stick around. So we're going to speak about Rodrigo right now. Then I want to speak about Darwin. And then there's another player I wanted to speak about. And then we're going to speak about Kerkez. And then that is how today's show is going to go. And then obviously we'll bring some people on if they want to come on. However, if you want to come on the show, I'll probably put the link in the chat. Do you know what I mean? But yes, let's see what the poll is saying now. It is close. It is close. Let's have a look at Rodrigo's numbers. Does anyone know a website where you can compare stats? Because I've seen bare YouTubers use it. What's that website where you can compare stats of like players in like a proper detailed way? Like you can actually look at their shot conversion, their passing accuracy, stuff like that. Does anyone know of any websites where you can actually do that? Because I actually wouldn't mind comparing Rodrigo and Luis Diaz and doing a breakdown on that. Because considering that's obviously the topic right now. So if anyone knows, try SofaScore. SofaScore. Nah, this is one website where I've seen bare people use. Is it SofaScore? Right, how the hell do you compare players on this? Right, let's just type in players. Right, search for players, yeah. Let's just type in Luis Diaz. Right. Search to compare with other players. Here we go. Rodrigo. Right, let's compare these. Why is it not searching him? Right, let's have a look at this. No, this isn't the one. This is not the one. Because you can actually like properly like compare them. This isn't the one. Does anyone know? Surely someone knows a website we can compare. Because that doesn't look like it. Would you take Kerkez? I feel like he's a Nunes 2.0. Would I take Kerkez? 100%. The poll has a 1% difference between it. Jesus. Now, surely someone knows a good website where you can compare players. Because I want to actually like properly break it down. However, people, we're 3 subs from 1,390. Can we get there today? That would be absolutely massive. We've been live for 35 minutes, more than nearly 100 likes. The love and support, I honestly, what a data MB. Is that what it's called? Data MB. Data MB. Is that it? Oh god, this is one that I've seen Coppish use it actually. Oh fuck off, lads. What? Compare wingers. Here we go. This doesn't really look like it, I'm gonna be honest, but we'll try it anyway. I mean, you type in Luis Diaz, it doesn't even come up. It doesn't even come up. What? Nah. We'll find a website. Players comparison. We'll just type that in on Google. Is that it? Comparison matrix. Here we go. Right, I found this is what I wanted. Right. Add player. Luis Diaz. Boom. Rodrigo. Where's Rodrigo? What? Why is he not coming up? Right, here we go. Right. Now we need to. Oh God. How do I make it? So why is it like that? Can you not like do it all comps? Why is it coming up with the primer? Why is it coming up with these random flipping? Well, in the Champions League, I'm intrigued to see this. I mean, would you look at that already? Nah, this is not the one. I don't know. Is it per 90? Nah, this is not it. This ain't it. Now, surely someone in the chat will know the website on it. Guys, 3 more likes for 90, man. Big up yourselves. Nah, this isn't it. You literally put 2 players in, and it just comes up with all competitions, and you can check their passing accuracy, their shot conversion, their games, their goals to minutes, stuff like that. Oh God, because this isn't it. Like, why is it? Oh, edit stats. All right, okay. Right, we're gonna have to literally tick every single thing. Oh, for God's sake, I'm gonna have to go through and tick every single bloody thing. Okay, let's do this. Have we got all these? Yep. Oh, for fuck's sakes. We don't need fucking defense. Yeah, we want to see passing accuracy. Who gives a fuck about the defending? Let's get all these ticked. Oh, this is long. Right, goals. Why is it coming up with that? Right, okay. I mean, if you just look at it, right, games. This is based off in the Champions League, right? Let's do it in the league, right? So this is Rodrigo's stats for the league, and then we'll compare him with the Premier League. Okay, so Diaz has obviously played 6 more games, 90 minutes, starts 28-22, subbed on that. Shots on target. And even if you look at a creative standpoint of view, look at all the greens compared to Luis Diaz. Look at all the greens compared to Luis Diaz or Rodrigo. Now, in shots, he's obviously going to have more shots because Rodrigo is creating chances for Mbappe, Bellingham, Vinny Jr. Do you know what I mean? So, what's this? Sports. What is that? Choose Premier League and La Liga for stats. Sports. Everyone's saying that. Diaz is better. Was people saying that last season? Were people saying that last season? Do you know what I mean? Were people saying that last season? Interesting. Interesting, people. People, by the way, we are 10 likes from 100, and we are 12 subs now from 1,400. Can we push? We've got over 150 people in the building. Let's get liking. Let's get subscribing. What's the poll saying? Oh my God, it is close. The poll is winning now for Luis Diaz. 51% are saying no. 49 are saying yes. Oh, Lord. It is. Let's see if that vote. We'll leave that running for another 7 or so minutes. It's now winning by 4%. Diaz fans are in the building, yeah? You know what I'm saying? Is that what I'm saying? Guys, I would keep Luis Diaz. I would. if it got let out that Luis Diaz is going to be at the football club next, gives you a fancy graph. No, so that's the website. Yeah, let's have a look at this. I can't be bothered to type that in. I'll just type it in on through that. So is it this website here? Oh, this website looks good. Right, because I don't use these bloody websites. So can someone? All right, here we go. Comparison. Oh, blood off, man. I don't care about safe flipping UK stuff. Click to add player, yeah? Luis Diaz. Oh, it's already looking decent. Rodrigo. God, this Timon. Why is it? Is there any way? Oh, God, bugger off. I want to see the graph, you prats. I mean, that just says it all. In terms of chance creation, Rodrigo is better. In terms of goal scoring, Luis Diaz is obviously going to be better because he has scored more goals this season. Is that in League Cups and Cups? Wait, would that be competitions? Wait, I'll be able to tell. Minutes played. Who wins? Who gives a fuck about who bloody wins away or what? I mean, you can clearly see at dribbling, Rodrigo is better. At goals, Diaz is obviously going to be back because he scored more this season. But I genuinely feel that when Rodrigo has the chances, he buries them. And he is clutch. He is clutch in big positions. And the one reason why I want Rodrigo at the club is because I feel like not only can his goal scoring ability go up, I feel like he's got another level to go up of being that main man in an attack. And I feel like his chance creation will just be creating chances galore. You know? I think him and Verts, oh my days, as a link up, because you know the way that Verts plays, sometimes obviously he plays in that 10 pocket and he can sometimes always drift to the left and stuff like that. The link up between Rodrigo and Verts, oh my days. And if we get a striker as well, who wants to compare to Bruno Fernandes, man? Bugger off. And the thing is, I always find with Rodrigo, he turns up in big moments. I'm not saying Luis Diaz doesn't, but like let's be real here. You know, Rodrigo is a big game player. And look at the age difference, 4 years difference. You're basically getting a younger version of Diaz and who is better in certain areas. We complain as fans too many times where Diaz is just running with the ball. He doesn't take on a man. He doesn't try to create a chance. He just loses the ball. Rodrigo takes on mans, takes shots from outside the box, or he'll just lay it off to the forwards. So, i.e., he'll be laying it off to Salah, whoever's playing up front. Wirtz. Do you know what I mean? Man, this signing would. Oh, bruv. Diaz has to say, what about the Wirtz deal? Is it done? Spanish league is not physical as EPL. Diaz is a monster. Yeah, that's the one thing. Like, Diaz has, you know, that bit to his game with the extra creativity. Only highlights we need is a striker. Like, if I just think with Rodrigo, man, his levels would go up so much if he joined Liverpool. I really do, guys. I really do think his levels would just go up massively if he was to join the club. Do you know what I mean? I really do. I really, really, really do. But yeah, guys, we need 8 more likes for 100, and we need 12 more subs for 1,400. So if you've not liked, get subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, get subscribing to the channel. Who should who was I going to send the link to? Right. I've messaged 2 people. I think they're going to be coming on. I am up for Rodrigo. You may have changed my mind. Bro, Rodrigo is a baller, man. Like, the thing is, Rodrigo is a baller, and I'm not comparing him to Neymar I'm talking about ability and who is a better player. Do you remember when Neymar was at Barcelona and he wanted to be that main man in the team, and he always felt like he was somewhat in the shadows of Messi and Suarez? That's what Rodrigo is kind of like at Real Madrid, but instead it's Mbappe, your Bellinghams, your Vinny's. Do you know what I mean? He's never good. When you speak about Real Madrid in this day and age, you're not going to be saying, yeah, Rodrigo. You're going to be saying Bellingham. You're going to be saying Vinny, Mbappe, Valverde. You know, these man. You're not going to be saying Rodrigo. And I feel like Rodrigo would thrive off being a main man in a team. I really do. I really, really do. I really do. But yeah, guys, 5 more likes for 100. Compare Gordon with Diaz. Oh, God. This might not be a safe one. Okay. Gordon. Come on, Gordon. Okay. So see, the pink bar is Diaz. That's Gordon. I mean, how do I zoom out? I'll make it so I can zoom out. Oh, man. You only wanted me to compare Gordon because you know how I rate Anthony Gordon, and but guys, Anthony Gordon's a name I'll take. I actually think, is Anthony Gordon Prem proven? I was watching Big Up to Be an Argument, right? Go and subscribe to Born and Red TV, quality YouTube channel. And I was listening to them last night, and there was one about, is Anthony Gordon Prem proven? It depends on what you define as Prem proven. Is Prem proven you're a standard, good quality Premier League player? It depends on what you define Premier League proven. Like Anthony Gordon this season, 6 goals, 5 assists. Last season, he got 11 goals and 10 assists. His numbers have obviously dropped by half. Caveat, he has had a couple of problems off the pitch. Caveat that he hasn't actually played nowhere near in terms of minutes as compared to Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes in the past couple of months, guys, has been the main starter in the team. He has. Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't sell Diaz for Rodrigo, only someone like Leao Bacola. Oh my God. So you would sell you sell Diaz for Rafael Leao. Bradley Bacola, I hear it. But Leao, yeah, I do want Gordon. You are right there, Darren. If Diaz goes, likely that Gordon will replace him, as we wanted him to sign for years. Well, that's what some people in the chat don't want to hear. Some people in this bloody chat don't want to hear that, mate. Do you know what I mean? We are now 10 subs from 1,400. Big up yourselves. And by the way, people, this is a record fast in terms of 100 likes. 100 likes in 51 minutes. Big up to every single person that has watched. We have had so far nearly 4,000 people join the stream. Big up to every single one of you, man. I genuinely appreciate. Yeah. Genuinely, honestly, and appreciate it. What I'm going to do is Is he live? You didn't put the comparison. Was it that bad? What do you mean? Thoughts on Ioga? Pretty superior comparisons between them. Diaz. Bro, I like Rodrigo. Rodrigo has everything in his locker to be a world superstar. This is a guy that performs in big moments. Champions League quarterfinals, Champions League semi-finals, getting Real Madrid to Champions League finals. This is a guy that turns up. Big game player. This is a guy that will thrive in the Premier League. Don't get me wrong, right? I like Luis Diaz, guys. I like Luis Diaz. I do. I want him to stay. I do. But what I want to what I think is completely different. The club are going to be thinking 55 grand, 2 years left on his deal, 28 years old. Can he put up the numbers of last season? These are things that they're going to be looking at. We know how Michael Edwards and stuff like that, they're going to be ruthless, guys. They are going to be ruthless. They don't care. They are going to be ruthless. We sold Keller for 12 million. They're going to be ruthless in terms of the business they do, and I fully back them behind it. Because are people seriously thinking that we're gonna sell Diaz and not bring in a decent advocate replacement? Obviously, we're going to. Do you know what I mean? I just think like I don't know. I genuinely just don't know how people don't rate Rodrigo. I'm not saying Rodrigo's going to come to Liverpool, by the way, guys. I'm not saying that. Liverpool obviously have had an interest in him. They've had an interest in him since Santos days. Arsenal probably are ahead of us in the race because Ben Jacobs has confirmed that their interest in the player is obviously severely genuine. And, you know, but you know what? Let's see who's DM'd me. Okay. I want to see what the poll is saying now. I mean, it's very close, guys. We've had over nearly 250 votes on this poll that Luis Diaz are you selling Luis Diaz for Rodrigo? 51% have said yes, 49% have said no. Yeah. Big up to the people, man. Big up. Appreciate the love. I love and want Diaz to stay because he's an important player for Liverpool. Run at the left wing, and he's only a player at left side winger can dribble and run deep into the penalty area. Do we not think Rodrigo's assist should be higher, seeing as he is assisting Bellingham and Mbappe compared to Diaz assisting Nunes? I think there's context to that, though, because Rodrigo sometimes doesn't even start. A lot of the times, I feel like Rodrigo's genuinely hold back. It's like putting a bull on a leash or whatever and holding him back from running. I feel like if you let Rodrigo just play ball, do you know how people say Jack Grealish, right? Jack Grealish is not a systematic player. That he prefers to just run the game at his pace. Let him control the football. Let him do what he wants because we know what he can do. I'm comparing him a bit to Rodrigo. If you let Rodrigo do what he wants with the football, control the game with the football, let him create chances, let him drive into the box and score goals, I think his ceiling is superior, guys. This is a guy that went to Real Madrid at like 20 years old. Do you know what I mean? So obviously they saw the talent way before that, and obviously we had an interest in him in his days at Santos. Do you know what I mean? So I very much compare him to a Jack Grealish type in terms of just let him free, in the sense of he can go up a level or two. I really do. I really do, guys. I've been a fan of Rodrigo since like 2021 when I was first watching him play for Madrid. The guy is a baller, man. The guy is a baller. And you know, if he went to Arsenal, wow. If he went to Arsenal, wow. Because Saka, what would their front three be? Oh man, they cannot sign Kerkez as well. They have to sign Benjamin Sesko. Players do not want to go Arsenal. Even Zubimendi has dropped a bomb that you could go to Madrid. But that's Martin Zubimendi, though. Martin Zubimendi did that to us. To be fair, if you look at Martin Zubimendi's career and when he's been linked with a move and stuff like that, there has been like 50,000 here we goes for Zubimendi to join clubs. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just Arsenal. It was Liverpool. I believe there was another club as well that had like genuine interest in him. Was it Man City? I can't remember. There was another club that had genuine interest in him, and it looked like it was going to get done. And he was like, "Nah, I changed my mind. Stay in the mountains, innit?" Let's comparison. I don't take the league into comparisons. Premier League is harder than the Spanish league, and Diaz makes Nico Williams look. Wait, the Premier League is harder than the Spanish league, and Diaz makes Nico Williams look rubbish. I actually think if Luis Diaz was to go to the La Liga, I actually think he would do better. Because that league is better for... I call La Liga the Ballers League in terms of skillful, high-pace attacking wingers that will come up against poor defenses. Luis Diaz will do better in La Liga than he would in the Premier League. If he went to, let's just say he went to Atletico Madrid, he would put up better numbers than he does at Liverpool in the Premier League. And before people say, "Oh, Atletico Madrid don't play attacking football," Atletico Madrid actually do. They think, well, that's another thing. You know, Atletico Madrid. I feel like Atletico Madrid are actually hated in the terms of the way they play football. Like there is times where they'll go and score 4 or 5 goals, but they'll concede 4 or 5. Go and watch prime example. I think was it 4-4? Was it the first leg? Was it the Copa del Rey? And it was Barcelona versus Atletico, and there was like 4-2 down and just scored 2 mad goals. Like Atletico Madrid do play attacking football. And I want to keep Diaz. I want to keep him. Look at Anthony, dog poo in the Premier League, but bossing in La Liga. Exactly. So if he went to La Liga, his numbers will be doubled. Diaz would bang 15 to 20 goals, maybe about 10 assists. You know what I mean? I'm not selling one of the best wingers for maybe wingers. What, you think Rodrigo's a maybe winger? This is a guy that's performed on the biggest stages, mate. I really do think Rodrigo is very much held back in the sense of he's not allowed to express himself and be that main guy in the attack. He's obviously not going to score many goals because half of the time it's going to be Kylian Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Bellingham. That's an obvious fact. It's like no one in our team is going to come in and score more goals than Mo. Do you know what I mean? La Liga is a technical league, but players can be the best. Does not mean they will make it in the Premier League. I just think Rodrigo seems to me he's got a really good mentality and mindset to be able to make it in the Premier League. I ain't talking about Rod. I'm talking about others. Oh, fair enough. I thought you were talking about Rodrigo. Like, I rate Rodrigo, man. I really do rate Rodrigo, and I think he's a baller. I really do. I really, really do. Do you know what I mean? I really, really do. Bruv, is he gonna come on the show or not? What a prat. What was I gonna do? Bear with people. Bear with me 1 second. Only Roderick and Cavara could replace Diaz, and we ain't getting either of them. So, would you take Bradley Bacola? Would you take Bradley Bacola at your club, or not? 3 likes away from 110. Big up to every single person. We are 2 subs from 1,390. So let's push for that in today's stream, people. Come on, man. Big up to Zia, man. Yo, we have over 100 people watching. Everyone, subscribe to Zia Talks. Big up to him. You know, he's got a banging show called Heavyweight that I'm going to be on next. Heavyweight Summer, I forgot. He's going to be on next week. Big up to Zia, man. Make sure you smash the likes. Zia, if you're watching, put your link in the chat. Put your link to your channel in the chat, bro. And let's get you to 900 subs. Up the Chelsea. Oh, mate. Do you think Chelsea in the race for Rodrigo, bro? Slap the likes, guys. Yeah, man. Nah, he misses too many chances in the mid-league. He misses too many chances. So, Barcola has... in the Champions League, 3 goals and 4 assists. In his league, he's got 14 goals and 10 assists. And bearing in mind, again, he's not the main man in the attack. Cavara, Dembele, Doué are above him. Let's get Zia's link. Zia Talks. Guys, I want to see every single one of you making sure you're subscribing to Zia. Let's get his channel in the chat. But yeah, people, man, big up to every single person that is watching. We got still over 100 people watching the stream. Big up to you damn selves. Big up to you damn selves. What was I gonna do? But yeah, people, big up to Zia, man. Make sure, guys, if you all go and subscribe to Zia Talks, man. I will be on that channel very, very soon. So make sure you're all dropping a subscription on his stream. Let's see what else is being put. Forget numbers. I watch them a lot with the eye test he misses. That's fair enough. I mean, hello, big up yourselves. If you guys get pissed at Diaz, then you'll be fuming at Bacola. Where is the truth in all this? What? The Rodrigo stuff is on your screen. It's literally on your screen. Yeah. Let me see what anything has been popped around on Twitter. So yeah, let's bring up some other stuff that was gonna go upwards in today's stream. Where is it? I wanted to bring it up. Oh, did I not bookmark it? Fabrizio. Right, there's some news on what's his name? Kerkez. Just bear with while I actually find it. Also, by the way, Fabrizio Romano tweeted this. If you want to go and watch it, he basically confirms that, you know, Liverpool are closing in on a deal. It's just taking some time. He said this 19 hours ago. Right. So he put out on the 4th of June, Liverpool are prepared to seal the Milos Kerkez deal with one more round of talks to get it over the line. Bournemouth and Liverpool are finalising the agreement after the personal terms in place last week. Here we go soon. He then, therefore, says, patience with Milos Kerkez deal. The feeling is the same. He's fully expected to become a Liverpool player soon. So, if we've had one more round of talks, I fully expect this. So, if this was on the 4th, today's the 6th, you would think this deal is going to be completed. You would think and hope. You would think that that this deal should be completed by Monday. I think it will, and due to the reasons of there will be no international, which I think international break has actually played a big part. Don't forget, guys, we have got Nations League, you've got World Cup qualifiers, you've got friendlies going on. If I look it up, if I go to, let's just type in Hungary fixtures, they've got 2 more games of this international. So they've got a friendly tonight against Sweden, which Milos Kerkez is not going to be involved in. And if you go to, then they've got another game on, I ain't going to even pronounce that, on Tuesday. Then let's compare Germany national football team, right? When's their next game? Bloody hell. So they've got 1 game on Sunday. So you have to think, guys, he's in the semi-finals of the Nations League. So for starters, he ain't going to be able to complete his medical. He ain't going to be able to complete his medical for starters. Same with Milos Kerkez, because he literally played the other day. I fully expect when this is all said and done, so on the 9th and the 10th of June, I would be shocked if these deals are not going to be completed. And that's obviously what Fabrizio is saying, that these deals are going to be expected to be completed soon. We then also see some also stuff that Florian Wirtz to Liverpool is imminent. He's on the verge of an historic move. If Wirtz remains injury-free, it is a very possible, according to Bild information, that the mega transfer will take place at the beginning of next week. Therefore, there'll be no internationals, and so he'll be free. So all you'll have to do is go on his holidays. You know? We then bring up the more information of this is let's go back to it. So basically, if he stays injury free, he's going to be a Liverpool player, guys. He is going to be a Liverpool player. I very much doubt he'll probably take it very seriously, because it's a Nations League third place playoff. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, right? Because I'm not from Germany or France, but I'm not being disrespectful. No one gives a fuck. I doubt it. I saw Germany fans and Portugal fans when their team played the other day. Most of them didn't even give a fuck. Some of the players didn't look like they didn't even give a fuck. So Wirtz is just, I won't be surprised if he doesn't even start. It's a third place playoff. It's basically a friendly. It's just literally a meaningless 90 minutes football match. And then the next games will be in September. So I fully expect this deal to be completed by next week. If it's not completed by, I would genuinely say, if it's not completed by next week, like Wednesday, Thursday time, then okay, maybe ask a couple of questions. What's going wrong in this deal? Because it's been closed for 2-3 weeks, especially with Kerkez. Do you know what I mean? What do you think about Nick Wirtz made? I mean, to be honest, I've not seen too much of him. To be honest, I brought up that earlier. I'm expecting us to win a treble next season, Champions League. I want the most. I want the most because it's the biggest trophy and the best to win. One UCL, two Prem. So does that mean it's not 4% done? For me, it's like if any of you man, this is gonna be a crap comparison. Do you know it is like any of you man that have played racing games? So you're miles ahead of second and third place. You're miles ahead. You just need to go. You know in your head you've won the race. Just like we know we are going to get flying Verts. You know, as long as you don't crash going around this last corner, you've won. Right? That is kind of what this is like. This weekend is kind of a corner. Right? So I fully expect by Monday and Tuesday, if we don't see a here we go for one of them by Tuesday, then I don't know. Because obviously we've been promised for 3 weeks that this is a short saga. I came late. What do you think about him? You think youth? I don't know what that means. You think Verts won? No idea what that means, mate. I'll be honest with you. But the thing is, we have to also take into consideration that this is going to be the biggest transfer of the summer. This is literally going to be the biggest transfer in Premier League history, the biggest transfer in Liverpool's history. Liverpool want to get the deal right. And the thing is, I reckon if there was more suitors, more people involved, I actually think the deal actually would be done by now. But the fact that there's no one involved means Liverpool can take their time and their patience with the deal. You know, take their time. Do you know what I mean? Makes sense. Yes. I heard it would be done by early next week. I think Monday Verts deal be done Monday. Yeah. Big up to Zia, man, tuned in earlier. People are on 121 likes. Big up yourselves. We are now 9 subs from 1.4. Can we push for 1.4 today? That is the question. Just hope he don't get injured because Vert's already had an ACL before. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm going to be honest. I'm not even going to watch the Germany game because, yeah, he did have his first German start the other day. That would be good on corners. To 6'6". Zia raid. Oh, big up to Zia, man. Big up to Zia. People, go and subscribe to Zia's channel. For people that are in my chat, we'll get Zia's channel in the links. People, we've got over 130 people watching. Let's get him up. Big up to Zia, man. Appreciate the raid, brother. And all people's Zia's people coming in. You're always welcome, man. Big up to the community, people. Big up to the community. But yeah, big up to yourself, Zia, bro. I'll message you anyway on Twitter, bro. Yeah, man. We're talking about your boy Wirtz, though, anyway, bro. We're talking about your boy Wirtz, innit? I don't know how Wirtz does in the Prem. I think Wirtz bangs, mate. You think we're still in for TK? Do I think we're still in for TK? I doubt it. I doubt Liverpool go and pay the 100 million euros. I doubt. And plus, I think Chelsea are ahead of us in the race for them. But yeah, man. Guys, how many subs is Zia on? We got over 100 people in this building, yeah? Zia's on 901 subs. Let's get him to 910. Come on, man. I promised him I'm going to get him to 1,000. You can join Liverpool, but He better perform. All I have receipts. Oh, bro, you can clip it all you like, mate. Clip. Wirtz is going to bang next season. And when I do my Premier League predictions, I've already got a prediction for Wirtz next season, but I'm not going to say that right now. I'll wait till the time is right. Please take Etitike that won him. Wait, you're a Chelsea fan? Or do you support someone from the Bundesliga then? Yeah, slap the likes. Yeah, big up, man. We've got over 130 people watching. Let's get Zia to 1K subs, man. I've already hit the 1K. Let's get him to 1K. You better, bro. Is Wirtz going to happen? Taking a long time. It's going to happen, bro. On a real note, I am actually concerned you can push for the UCL. Bro, I said this, man. Bro, we got knocked out to a quality PSG team on penalties. We could have scammed our way through. And we went pound for pound. We're probably the one team in the tournament that actually went pound for pound with them. We only conceded 1 goal to this PSG super team. 1. In a strange way, does Wirtz remind me of Vardy? Maybe it's his size and movements. You think Wirtz reminds you of Jamie Vardy? Yeah, up the mighty Chelsea. I mean, big up yourself, bro. Oh, Hannah is a Chelsea fan. Look, even the Chelsea. Look, even the Chelsea are welcome in the streams. Tell you what, though, bro, I've got a question for you, though. Where's Chelsea going to finish next season? Because I'm asking Chelsea fans daily, yeah, and they can't answer the question. I think I know where Chelsea finish based off the business I think they'll do. And by the way, I'm actually jealous you actually signed Delap. I actually wanted Delap. I'll be honest. I actually wanted him. Because I actually think he's going to be class in a couple of years' time. And to be honest, I actually think he won't even be your main starter. To have Delap as a backup who scored 12 goals for Ipswich, you can't go wrong. And for 30 million. Yeah, when Vardy was in his pump, I could see him as a striker. What, Wirtz? Wirtz has so many similarities to Coutinho, in my opinion, in the way he's able to move off the ball and he can drift off to that left-hand side, come into the central areas, pick out pockets, get those 1-2s going with the striker. He's got some similarities to Coutinho, which obviously, as a Liverpool fan, you know, when I saw Coutinho in his prime at my club, made me absolute gassed. We should have beat PSG was good. Bro, the thing is, we actually could have beaten PSG because the thing is, if you don't remember, we had the game plan set up. We was at Anfield, we was 1-0 up in the tie, right? And all we had to do was play our normal game. This is the one time where Slot fucked up because he decided to just go gun-ho. If we was 1-0 down and at PSG stadium, I would understand it. But we was 1-0 up at our own ground. We should have just played our normal game and we would have gone through. And the goal we conceded, by the way, which was poor between the Kanate and Alisson and Verge. And obviously Dembele just skips past him and taps it in. We had so many chances, man. Salah should have buried 2. Jota should have buried. Diaz should have buried. To be honest, PSG battered us in that first leg. It was a robbery. But that second leg, we should have scored minimum 2. Yeah, we were the better team in PSG, but I think Slot got his tactics wrong in the away leg, sitting back like we did against City. But PSG were a different class from City. Yeah, PSG, man, they're going to be a real threat next season. I think they're actually going to get better. They're going to get better. I'll be intrigued. I'm actually intrigued to see if Dembele can keep up his form from next season. That's something I want to see. Honestly, it depends on the business we get with the line. I think we get top 4 still, but I need another striker, goalkeeper, centre back, and a left winger. Would you take Manyan? I mean, if you watched him the other day, then no. Centre backs. I'm trying to think of centre backs that Chelsea should go for. Do you know a centre back I actually think Chelsea should go for? Gueye. He's got a year left on his contract. Cheap. Do you know what I mean? Why is everyone panicking over Verge? He's definitely joining us. It's just a matter of time. Yep. I think Verge is like Xavi when he played for Barca. We went into a PSG games wrecked after playing 12 games in a short time. Still only beat by pens. Yeah, okay, mate. Bayern were looking at Gueye. Gueye's a good centre back. He's got 1 year left. He's cheap. He had a good Euros. I'm intrigued to see what Bayern do. Because I think I was watching the Bayern View yesterday, and he was saying that you guys are gonna get rid of Kim Min Jae. I don't know. He's better than Sanchez, but that isn't the level it is. You man should have tried to get Kelleher from us. Kelleher starts from literally most Premier League teams. He literally does. Oh shit! Oh no! Fuck! I've just banned Zia from the flipping comments by accident. Oh no! Oh shit! How am I gonna fix this then? Oh no! Shit! I didn't mean. Oh fuck! I did the wrong person. Oh no! God. I didn't mean to click his name. Oh my god. Oh no. Right, can someone talk me through how to do it? Because I normally when I ban people, I keep them fucking banned, innit? Oh, fucking Christ. Right. You're gonna have to talk me through this. Go to YouTube Studio. Okay? Right, where do I go from there? Shit, I fucking one idiot. Right. You're gonna have to talk me through this, bro. Fuck. I don't know if you can still watch if you're banned, you know. Oh, Zia, if you're watching, bro, I did not mean to. I genuinely didn't. Oh, fuck's sakes. Oh god, this has gone wrong, hasn't it? Let me open 2 secs. Okay, bro. Oh, fuck's sake. I flipping banned the wrong dude. Oh no. Right. Let's go through some comments while Hanno helps me do it. I say you buy one, you get free. Lol, bro. Afternoon all. That pod is a tricky one. I'll sell Diaz. I love him, but he's awesome. But feel he's overrated by many. And just as a good player, but not great. Fair enough. How much is Gueye priced at? I would say you can get Gueye for like 40 mil. Go to settings and community moderation. Okay. Settings, community moderation, Zia. Right. Zia, hopefully you're unbanned, bro. Bit late today, bro. Go on. I know you're going to ask me, mate. Is Cristiano Romano going to Atletico Madrid? Oh, God. Type now. Should have fixed. Oh, fuck. I didn't mean to. Nah, not anymore. Why? It's confirmed. What's confirmed? Oh man. Oh god. Of course. Literally because I'm on Mac. I'm on MacBook, innit? And I literally, my finger slipped, and it must have just, and Zia's name was just underneath it. But yeah, big up yourself, bro. Thank you, man. By the way, guys, we are 6 subs from 1,400. Let's get there today. We've got this. We can get there today. How many likes are we on? 131. Can we push for maybe 150? Is 150 a push? We'll aim for 140 in it. We'll go for another 30 or so minutes. Are you gonna end the stream now or continuing? 5 subs now. You're welcome. Big up yourself, Alex, bro. Big up yourself, Maggie. Come on. Yeah. 5 more subs, guys. 5 more. Z is banned forever. Nah, I unbanned him, innit? I've just literally unbanned him. Well, I hope he can, because God. I don't know if I have to end the stream. Like, how do I share my screen? No, I'll be honest, I don't have mods in it. This is literally it. So it says that he's unbanned. He needs a sandwich. What? Who needs a sandwich, bro? Right, let's not get weird in the chat, man. Let's not get weird in the chat. Yo, Uncle's in the chat, man. Yo, Uncle, if you want to jump on, bro. If anyone wants to jump on, man, I'll shoot the link in the chat. Right, Zia, I can see your comment. Yeah, you're back, bro. Let me make you a mod in it. Fucking hell. Right, let me just stop the chat for a minute because it's moving quick. Zia talks. Add as a moderator. Boom. There you go, bro. You should be a mod now. Shoot the link. Yeah, the link's in the chat, Uncle, mate. I'll put it in the chat again. If anyone wants to jump on, bro. Bro, I don't even know how that happened, man. Yeah, he's back. He's back. Yeah, he's back. He's back. Sound. 7 more likes for 140. Big up, people, man. Yo, we got Uncle Rod's coming on. But this poll is close, you know. Nearly 375 votes. Yeah, 51% are only saying no. Slap the likes and subscribe, bro. Everyone, slap the likes and subscribe to Zia Talks. We need to get him to 1K. We need to get him to 1K. We're getting this guy to 1K. It's my goal, bro. It's the date yet. By the 6th, I guarantee you, bro, you're on 1K subs in the next 10 days. 1K subs in 10 days, bro. If you just go live, and I'll raid you after, innit? But yeah, Uncle's coming on. Should be anyway. Yeah, man. Bro, like, genuinely, I help out. If people are nice to me, bro, I'll help out anyone. Do you know what I mean? That's just the type of person I am. Do you know what I mean? Like, this stream's been mental. We had over 250 people watching. Mad thing. Who's this? Hello, bro? Hello? Hello? Hello, Uncle?
Yes, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Good,
I can hear you, mate. Big up to have you on, man. The goat, man. The goat. Come on. What are you saying anyway, bro?
I'm here, bro. I'm here just fighting a good fight, innit?
Bro, are you everyone in the chat keeps asking, are you nervous about Wirtz and Kerkez? Are you nervous?
I'm frustrated. If anything, I just want them to get it done and stop dilly dallying. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know why it's taking so long. Do you know what I mean? To actually do. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, and I think that's what messes us up sometimes. That we tend to take a long time to do things. Do you know what I mean? And other teams, if you look at other teams like your Chelsea, your Man City and stuff, they seem to get things over the line. Transfers over the line relatively quick. Do you know what I mean? As soon as they link with them, you know what I mean. They're in Manchester doing a medical. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah, bro.
And listen, we got the Frimpong deal done fairly quick. Do you know what I mean? But I just think these players and just get it done. You know what I mean? So I've got no doubt at the end of the day that he's coming down. Wirtz and Kerkez wants to come to Liverpool and probably is coming to Liverpool. Do you understand what I'm saying? But it's just taking long. Do you know what I mean?
I think the international break has played a part, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but you see what it is, and we was led to believe that they had medical teams out in Germany. This is what we're led to believe. We've got medical team out in Germany, so when they get the green light, they can do the medical. So Zas player doesn't have to come to England. He can get the medical done in sort of like Germany, and we get things moving from there.
Yeah.
I just don't see what's taking so long. Just get it done, man. You know what I mean? Come on now, you know what I mean? It's like we're waiting for Florian Wednesday, Florian Thursday. Now it's Friday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's already they asked him in Germany, "Are you happy that you're joining Liverpool?" And he nods in approval. What more do you want? Get it done, man. I think, come on now. It's taking too long. Taking too long. You know what I mean?
For me, I'm not really concerned because it's not like he's going to be able to do his medical anyway when he's on international. Same for Kerkez, do you know what I mean? But in terms of the overall deal, I think the reason why it's obviously took so long for Wirtz is because it is going to be a record fee for Liverpool. And when you've not got many suitors involved, Liverpool can sit back and take their time and slowly work Leverkusen down to get this deal as cheap as possible. Because let's say if we had a Bayern Munich or a Man City actually fully in the race now, I think Liverpool would have paid the money straight away because we've done that before in the past when teams are coming for our targets. Like a recent one comes to mind, Luis Diaz, when Tottenham tried to came in, Liverpool came in and paid the money. And I think that will be a similar case. That would be the similar case for Wirtz. And when you've not got other suitors involved, it gives that football club to slowly just work on the other team, nail it down a really good deal possible. It's not like we've put in no bids. We've put in 2 bids. I know they've been both rejected, but you're always low ball for your first bid. It's very rare your first bid gets accepted. Unless it's obviously a really cheap deal, but obviously this isn't. So, I mean, I expect this deal to be a here we go by next week, and same for Milos Kerkez. I'm not overly concerned, I'll be honest. They're both near enough. I mean, Kerkez has basically agreed personal terms with Liverpool. He wants the move, and in terms of an announcement, I think we'll have to obviously wait till the following window, which is in 10 days. It's long, but then at the same point, it's not like there's no games being played. There's nothing. It's not like we're in the Club World Cup. We can take our time. We're going to have all our business done within the first 10 days of June, near enough. A big chunk of it anyway. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I think as fans should be a lot more patient. And I think the second part of the window is going to be about outgoings. Getting rid of your Darwin Núñez's, who wants to leave, etc. Then Liverpool will probably go and look to go and get a striker if that's a left wing, if Diaz leaves, etc. Do you know what I mean? I just think I get where the fan base can be concerned, but then at the same time, it's just like have a bit of patience because we're not in the Club World Cup or anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, which are like that is a tournament that I don't want to be in. You know, because I think it's a fast. I think they turned that tournament into a fast schools tournament. Do you know what I mean? But I get where you're coming from. It's just like, you know, people start thinking about shades of Zubimendi and all other deals that sort of like took long and fell through. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what people's frustration is. You know what I mean? Yes, at the end of the day, I've got no doubt that it'll be all right in the night. You know what I mean? As it were, it'll be all right. But it's just the fact that day that, you know, we're expecting it to be done by now, and it's because it ain't done by now. People are sort of like kind of like uncomfortable because they're thinking of like Zubimendi, they're thinking of Fakir, they're thinking of, you know, this person. Do you know what I mean? You know, but I do get what you say. I do get you saying when there's no other teams involved, you do have a chance to, like, you know, take your time. You know what I mean? Work out the right possible deal. Do you know what I mean? Because you got that time span. Do you know what I mean? You know, so yeah, I do get it. It's just that sort of like, I think people start thinking of shades of thinking what's happened before. That's all it is, and then they just get a bit uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? In what's actually happening. You know what I mean? Because like what they're hearing from like these players is all positive. You know what I mean? If you look at Kerkez, for him, he's quite happy to join Liverpool. Wants to join Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? That's what's coming out of his camp. Same with Florian Wirtz. Do you know what I mean? So people are thinking, well, if that's the case, just get it done. Do you know what I mean? But you know, if obviously they want to do it the way they want to do it, take their time. You know, who am I to sort of like rush them? Do you know what I mean?
If they want to take their time and make, if it gets the deal cheap as possible, which will therefore be able to put more money towards other players, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I actually don't get is when people are comparing Caicedo and that. We have to think Caicedo, we came in last minute for that deal. It was a last minute thing. It came out of nowhere. Boom. Liverpool are putting a bid of £111 million for Moises Caicedo, which got accepted, but not on the personal terms standpoint of view. The Zubimendi, he wanted to stay at Sociedad. The difference is these players want to come. The other players where we've been heartbroken, they didn't want to come to the club. And with Kerkez, we've had months and months of data of getting involved in this deal, agreeing the personal terms. Same with Verge. Hence why there's been rumours since we've been talking to him since January. And for me, we've been well involved in this deal now for about 3-4 weeks. It's different to Caicedo and Zubimendi in the standpoint of view where they want to come. These players didn't want to come. They wanted to either stay or go to Chelsea. And that's something out of Liverpool's control. We can't blame FSG or Liverpool if Caicedo says, nah, I want to go to Chelsea. The only point you can blame Liverpool for is why would you come in last minute when you know he wants to go to Chelsea? That's the only point. They're the only times I feel like you can only really blame the club. But in terms of the overall deals and the future planning of the summer, I've never been so relaxed about a summer transfer window because we have Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes. They've had a whole year to plan for this. There's a reason why we didn't spend or didn't get linked to any players last summer. We got linked to Gordon for a bit and Zubimendi, but all in all, that was it. You know, they've had this. I think the whole plan was to let Slot assess his squad because he might come into Liverpool and buy a load of players, and then after a year, he might think, nah, I want to change how I want to play. I might want to adapt my style. I want to change my tactics up, and those players might not be systematically suited to Liverpool anymore. So that's why I think the club waited a year to obviously potentially get involved in these sort of deals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can look at it in that way. You can look at it in that way, and it does make sense. I just think that their man are like FSG are cheapskates. Do you know what I mean? They're just cheapskates.
Yeah.
They just don't like spending money. Do you know what I mean? But you know,
Are you FSG out, Uncle, or not?
yeah, in a way, because they haven't shown me what I want them to show me yet. I'm not saying they can't. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and I think this summer would prove their weight in gold, if you know what I mean. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and I do think they're gonna make moves this summer and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like, when you go back to the Carcedo deal, right? For me, at the end of the day, that was shaky. Do you know what I mean? That was shaky. Because why if you put in a bid and then they for a player, yeah, and it's got accepted, well, then your next move is at the end of the day, right, is to get that person down to sort of like your offices in London. Do you know what I mean? Do the medical and blah blah blah. What sort of like puzzled me in a sort of way, do you know what I mean? Yeah, was the fact that sort of like they waited and let Chelsea work out a deal. Do you know what I mean? For this person, you know, swap, push players, other players around so they can raise the money to get that deal done. They let that happen. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, overnight. You understand what I'm saying? Now, my argument is that in days that I would have been a situation would be me if I put in a bid, if I won the bidding, the bidding war because it was like a bidding auction. It was like a bidding auction. If I won that bidding auction, yeah, and like yes, it's your player, you won the bidding auction, right? There's no way I'm letting Chelsea come in and say, well, look, hold on. Do you know what I mean? This my client always want to go to Chelsea. Our girls, well, you should have thought about that before we actually won the bid. Do you know what I mean? You should not have put him in that bidding auction. If that's the case, if he's always wanting to go to Chelsea, why the hell is he in a bidding auction? Um, between like with us, you know what I mean? Because it was a bidding auction between Liverpool and Chelsea, yeah. And what actually happened initially? What happened is like Chelsea lost that bidding auction. We won it. Do you know what I mean? So if he's always wanting to go to Chelsea, he shouldn't have been in a bidding auction. And also, he's the same guy that said that he's always wanting to go to Arsenal. He's the same guy that said I've always wanted to go to Man United. Do you know what I mean? I've always wanted to go to Real Madrid. Do you understand what I'm saying? So he doesn't know what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? So that whole sort of like transfer at the end of the day, to me at the end of the day, was farcical on both points. Not just like Chelsea and Brighton and Liverpool as well. It was farcical. You know what I mean? Because okay, you've lost that bid. You've lost that to that player, yeah, right? And he's going to going to Chelsea, right? With all that money that you put down, there was never another option for you to go to. Like, all right, sack that. We're gonna go for this player. We're gonna spend 100 million on that player. Do you understand what I'm saying? There wasn't, a plan B. So it makes me feel that you guys at Ney wasn't fully on board in getting Carcedo. You wasn't fully on board in that. Do you know what I mean? So that's done. Zubimendi at the day, right? I just feel at the day that Zubimendi deal was not done right. Do you know what I mean? Because you must have had an inclination at the day that he wanted to stay. He wanted to stay in Sociedad. You must have had the inclination. You know what I mean? But you never anyone says Sociedad. Now at the end of the day, right? He said that he wants to go to Arsenal. And lo and behold, it's coming out. He wants to stay in Sociedad now. That player is useless. You know what I mean? So I suppose I've got no doubt in the day that they're gonna get these deals done. Yeah, I've got no doubt about that. It's probably the fact that the day is just like we just want this deals done now. You know, I mean, just get it done now, right? And then what you can do, you can concentrate on sort of like the next stage of your transfers. Getting players out the door, like as you said, like your Darwin Núñez, your Jota might. There's talks about Jota going as well, and there's talk about obviously Luis Diaz. That's up and down. You know what I mean? We still need a centre back, and we still need a DM, and we still need a striker. In you know what I mean? In my opinion, we still need three players to come in because I think at the start of this window it was always going to be 6 players. Do you know what I mean? That we needed. We still need that. So Arnie Slot, you see what they're doing with this new way of doing it. Because if you notice that a lot of these teams now, they don't become managers. It's head coaches, isn't it? It's head coaches. because what they're doing, they're taking that situation away from like the manager. All they want the manager to do is to coach. You know what I mean? You do the coaching, we do the buying. Do you know what I mean? You do the coaching, we do the buying. So like, what it is, you're gonna get a lot of like teams at the day that are going for head coaches. They're just like head coach. Like Arlen Stott is a head coach. Amron, head coach. Ten Hag's gone to Leverkusen, head coach. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna do away with the manager type of like person. You know what I mean? They just want the person to come in and coach the team, get trophies. We'll do the transfers, you coach the players. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is with sort of like with Arlen Stott. So Arlen Stott as a head coach, because it's American style of way of doing it. Arlen Stott as a head coach, he hasn't got much of a say of like transfers, like people coming in and people going out. He hasn't got much of a say. They might ask him and they will, look, do you like this player? And he says either yes or no. But the ultimate decision will be down, you know what I mean, to Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, whether this player comes in or whether this player doesn't come in. Arne Slot wouldn't have a say as such. Do you know what I mean? You know, they'll ask his opinion, but he wouldn't really have a say of who's coming in and who's going out. If you understand what I mean. I hope I made sense with what I just said.
Yeah, I get what you mean, mate.
Yeah.
For me, if I'm breaking down what you said, this is why I'm confident. Because if we go back to Jurgen Klopp, our most successful years was when Klopp was the coach / manager, and we had Edwards in charge who was dealing on all the business. Hence why we signed quality signers like Verge or Alisson. The list goes on. And obviously, Klopp took over in that sort of scene too much. And that was one of the reasons why I actually think he got burnt out, by the way, is because he took on too many roles. Not because from coaching or managing, it's because don't forget, he was effectively trying to do the sporting director role. He was like, I want these players. Of course, the manager has somewhat of a say in a transfer, of course, because they're going to be the one that's coaching and managing them. But he was the one that went all in. He wanted Darwin Núñez when the club wanted to go and get in Christopher and Nkunku. He was the one that wanted Brandt and all that. Edwards wanted Salah and Mane, etc. And the list goes on. If we're going back to the Caicedo, the point where it really kind of winded me up, I feel like the club thought of this like, we like Caicedo, but we'll go in for him if Chelsea keep messing about, because Chelsea were linked with him all that summer. Same with Arsenal.
Yeah.
Liverpool thought, look, they're taking the piss here. Let's just go in if he comes to Liverpool. Sorry,
let's go in and test the waters and see what happens. Isn't it?
Yeah. If he comes, he comes. If he don't, he don't. Fair enough. We move on, right? And then obviously, and then after we went on and got Gravenberch and Endo, good signings, proved well. This is why I'm excited, because Slot looks like he doesn't really want to have too much of a say. That's why we've got Edwards, the CEO, and we've got Ed Hughes, who's the sporting director, and Slot will obviously be the manager. Because they must have run tests of managers, Ruben Amorim, other managers as well, who are linked with the job, that didn't want to make too many changes to the squad, and that didn't want as much power at the club. And I think that's something they're going to hold back with Slot, even though he already has credit in the bank. And I want to see Slot just be the manager. Obviously, have says on transfers, of course, rightly so. But just keep him back, because we saw what happened with Klopp back in 2022 when he wanted to take over that sort of scene, and he'll get burnt out, etc. And that's why we've got Edwards and Hughes, who are the right man for the job to take the club forward in terms of the structure standpoint of view. And Slot will just be the manager. And that's why I think as fans, we should relax. Because back in 2018, when was linked to Alisson, Virgil, Fabinho, etc., were these fans worrying? No. So why should they worry now?
Can't remember. Yeah, you're right. But
I go back. Sorry, go on.
No. I was just going to say the only thing with Verge and Allison and that, it kind of happened quite quick. Do you know what I mean? The Verge thing at the day sort of like 1 second. The Verge thing at the day took more longer because they messed up on it, and then obviously it had to go back in January. But like, I do get what you're saying, and what you're saying makes sense. And the only other thing I will say is like in relation to Mane, yeah, Klopp wanted Mane, yeah. The person that he didn't want was Salah. He wanted Julian Brandt instead of Salah. And then obviously Michael has convinced him to get Salah, and it's good convincing. You know what I mean? I think personally, it's better this way, that like the head coach does the coaching, yeah, of the players, and then like your sporting director and your CEO buys the players, gets the players in. Do you know what I mean? Because then what happens at the end of the day, right? If it doesn't work out, right? Well, who's responsible for that now. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, well, look, it was like Michael Edwards and Richard Lewis that brought these players in. He's only there, and he's there to coach these players to the best of his ability. You know what I mean? And if these players are not cutting it, you know what I mean? Well, it's something wrong with the actual player. Do you know what I mean? So it's better in that way, that where each person has got their job to do. Do you know what I mean? So I like it that way, and I think you're right. You know what I mean? In relation to Klopp, he did take on too much. You know what I mean? He did take on too much. Because if you see Klopp now, if you look at Jurgen Klopp now, he looks much more healthier than what he did at sort of like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's more slimmer now, isn't he? He's slimmer now.
He looks healthy, man.
Yeah, isn't it? You know what I mean? I was so surprised when I saw him the other day before the parade, yeah, on like obviously on YouTube, I couldn't get over how sort of like healthy he looks, and he's smiling, he's this. Do you know what I mean? So I do agree with that structure, and I feel that like young Klopp did take on too much. You know what I mean? And like let's be fair, he did get let down a few times on certain transfers that he wanted. Do you know what I mean? And that sort of like contributed to the stress that he was taking on. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. I listen, at the end of the day, right, I've got no doubt at the end of the day that sort of like, that we will get these Wirtz and that. But I think as fans, you know what I mean? I think as fans, we do get slightly impatient sometimes, don't we? Do you know what I mean? And I think, let's get this guy now. Do you know what I mean? But I think it will all work out in the end. I've got no doubt. It's going to all work. You know
Before we move on to this important thing that's about Arsenal with Seska, because it looks like he's not going to go into Liverpool now.
Yeah.
One quick thing I wanted to bring up about your FSG out point. I've had this theory for some time that now FSG, we know what they're like when it comes to spending. But I've had a theory that how do we know that Jurgen Klopp didn't want to spend half of the time? Because a long period of the time, we have to remember he was in charge of transfers, etc. How do we know that Jurgen Klopp didn't want to make signings, but FSG did? If we go back to the 2022 window, so that's 2021, when he openly apologized in the media and said, I'm sorry, we should have brought a midfielder. How do we know that FSG wasn't going to sanction him to go and get a couple of midfielders? Because Klopp has always said he likes his same players. He likes a small squad. There's been many times where he's come out and said, I'm very happy with my team. I don't want to make any changes. Slot's had a first season. He's now saying, oh, I'm excited for the summer. The players are excited for the summer. Slot wants to make changes. Slot doesn't look like he's afraid to make changes to the squad if these players aren't good enough. Do you know what I mean? I've always had that theory that I don't think you can fully wholeheartedly blame FSG for the lack of spending. I actually think personally Jurgen Klopp was somewhat involved in that. I don't know if you would agree, but
no, it makes sense what you're saying. It makes sense what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? Because like, let's put it this way, my bro. Yeah, we're never fully gonna know what occurred.
no,
Do you know, never fully gonna know what occurred. So from what you just said, it does make sense. It could have been that, or it could have been FSG didn't want to spend money. Do you know what I mean? It's just that, like, with those situations, you're never fully gonna know, are you? Do you know what I mean? You have to just like assess the situation and probably just, I don't know, probably just make a decision of who you think was responsible for sort of like not getting in the right players and stuff. Do you know what I mean? What I do know, when it came to Bellingham, do you know what I mean? I do know that they wanted Bellingham. Klopp wanted Bellingham, and he did sort of like lay the groundwork for Bellingham in the way of talking to him, talking to his mum, talking to his dad. He even got Trent involved and so forth. And then like FSG decided to go a different route. Do you know what I mean? So like Klopp must have got the green light to sort of like lay down the foundation for Jude Bellingham. Do you understand what I'm saying?
The Jude Bellingham rejected us and Manchester City. He openly admitted that he spoke to Liverpool and City. He just wanted to go to Real Madrid.
Yeah, but you know
we
what?
Can't blame Liverpool and we can't blame John W. Emery for Bellingham saying, "Nah, I don't want to go to Liverpool. I want to go to play for Real Madrid." You can't blame him for that. But I do think this is. Sorry, go on.
No, so I was just going to say there was a situation, you know what I mean, in the negotiation when they was trying to obviously get this guy to the club and blah blah blah. There was a situation and what's my card? Real Madrid pulled out. They pulled out because they was literally convinced that he was on his way to Liverpool, because at that time he had obviously Klopp was talking to the mum, the dad, and him, and also Trent was talking to Bellingham and stuff. And so Real Madrid at one time was literally convinced that he was going to sort of like Liverpool. It's like when Liverpool decided, whoever decided and they was going to go down a different route. That's when he said like he's going to go to Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? But he was all sold on coming to Liverpool. That was a thing that was due to happen and was going to happen. And you know what I mean? But they decided that they want to go down a different route. So you know what it is at the day? It's just like it's half a dozen on one and six of the other. You know what I really want to put it. You know what I mean? They both was culpable in certain sort of like in certain situations. Do you know what I'm saying? What I hope now with the new structure, do you know what I mean? With the new structure that they're sort of like they're trying to build, what I hope now is different. What I hope now at the end of the day, right, that we literally at the end of the day, all the spots in the team, we get them sorted. You know what I mean? That means DM, that means centre back, that means a winger. If obviously if Luis Diaz leaves, that means a striker, another number 10. Because remember at the day, it's like Jota, and then Jota will probably we believe in. Do you know what I mean? All the spots in the team needs to get filled. So what can happen today, right? Klopp is in a better position to regain the title. Because that's my target for next season, is to regain the title. You know what I mean? But what it is, Slot needs to be put in the best position to do so. You can't let him down now. Do you know what I mean? If it was solely Klopp, right? Well, then show me it's solely Klopp and then and back your head coach. You know what I mean? Because this is your guy, yeah. Back your head coach and give him all the tools available for him to be a success. Don't sort of like tie his arm behind his back and say, look, this is what you got to deal with. Just give him the best platform that you can. Do you know what I mean? Because like personally, what happened previously at the end of the day under the last manager, where there was funds available, then there wasn't funds available. It was this. Is that personally, you know what I mean? I want to forget about that. I want to sort of like kick on to the future. You know what I mean? And the future will be, and right, is are you going to give this guy the tools to do the job? Are you 100% going to back this head coach to do the job, right? You know what I mean? Because I don't want to sort of like wait another 5 years to win something. I
No.
don't want to do that. I don't want to wait long 5 years to win something, whether it be a FA Cup or League Cup or the League or Champions
Yeah.
League. I don't want to get another 5 years. I want consecutive, do you know what I mean? Sort of like titles and trophies and this and that. We are
Yeah.
Liverpool Football Club. We're Liverpool Football Club. We're the best team in the land. You know what I mean? And we have been for years. You know what I mean? We dominate. You know what I mean? We dominate. We're not. We don't let people dominate us. We dominate. You know what I mean? So let's kick on. Let's do it, man. It's a new era. What I'm led to believe, it's a new era. Let's kick on and do. Let's attack this. Let's show these people in the day, right? You don't need like billions of billions of billions. We don't need to buy titles at the end of the day. We'll earn titles the right way. We'll do it the right way. We're not like Man City at the end of the day where, you know what I mean, they buy titles and stuff, and like Chelsea where they buy titles. We do it organically. We are Liverpool Football Club. You know what I mean? And show these people that they what time it is, man. Liverpool is back. They're back in full effect. You know what I mean? And you could tell at the day while we're back by challenge like yourself. You know what I mean? They got good challenge popping up and supporting Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? We're back, man. Seriously, we are back.
Yeah, exactly, bro. I agree with everything you said. Like, for me, I have full trust and everything in this manager because I genuinely believe lightning has struck twice again in the sense of we've landed another quality potential manager. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
this tweet from Fabrizio is interesting because hopefully, fingers crossed, our club can move in for someone like a Jokeres. Because it looks like now we've had interest in Sesko. It's now said that Arsenal are now in advanced negotiations for Benjamin Sesko after internal concrete talks reported last week. No
Mm,
agreement yet or expected this weekend, but it's advancing.
mm.
Would you like Liverpool to move in for Gyökeres? And also, was you a fan of Sesko? Did you want him? Now it looks like he's going to be going to Arsenal because it looks like this could potentially start the domino effect of the strikers that are available this summer. Delap's gone. Sesko looks like he's going to Arsenal. Where's Gyökeres going? Where's Oshman going? Do you know all these other names? Hugo Ekitike. I'm
Mm.
intrigued to see what you think. Did you want Sesko?
Uh, Not really. Not really. I wasn't 100% sold on Sesko. Um, the two other players, there was three players that I wanted, right? And Alvarez was top of the list. Do you know what I mean? Because I thought there could be a deal worked out for that, but apparently not. They've literally sort of like put a 500 million buyout clause on him. You know what I mean? So that's not going to be the one we're going to go for. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Ekatike was another one. I think he's good. I think he's really good, and I think he's just the right player profile, obviously, of what Liverpool would be looking for. But he looks like he's got his head turned by Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? Um, then there was Gokres, and Gokres is a good shout. Kerkez is a good shout. Do you know what I mean? Because look, he's proved it in sort of like, in England anyway. Although at the he was with Coventry City and they right, but he still proved himself. He still knows the English game because the Championship, right, to the Premiership. Yes, there's levels, yeah, but it's literally the same structure. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Do you know what I mean? So he knows about English football. He's he's left Coventry and he's gone to Sporting Lisbon and he's done a madness. Do you know what I mean? I personally think. All right, I know he's 27. I personally think, right, you get a Gokres in, yeah, right, and then about let's say probably 1 or 2 seasons, yeah, either another striker would come available that he can jump on. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, or like B, Alvarez will probably come available in about 1 or 2 seasons' time. Then you jump on that. Do you know what I mean? I just think in the day, Gokres would be really good to get now because he will work well. Excuse me. He will work well with Wirtz. They will work well
Yep.
together. You know what I mean? You put him in a team at the day. Excuse me. You put him in a team where you got your DM sorted out, you got your winger, and you got your number 10 sorted out. You know what I mean? You got your team sorted out, right? And then they were out like good players. You put him in a team like that. Listen, he's firing. He's firing on all
Yeah.
four cylinders. He is firing. So
Like even if he can do 40% of his numbers he did in the league, that the season just gone for us this season, I would take it all day long. And it's
yeah,
not even like he's an expensive contract. He's on
yeah,
cheap wages. We can give him
yeah,
150, 180, whatever.
yeah.
We can offer him Champions League football. We can offer him, we can win the league. We can win the Champions League. We can offer him the perfect project. And it would only cost us 60 million quid. The only thing is, I've just got a feeling he goes to United. And I
What do
think
you
if he
think?
goes to United, it's just a bit of a waste, isn't it?
Yeah, why would you go to United? I know at the end of the day his old manager's there, but I'm not being funny yet. United, not being funny yet. Because listen, I admire United because they've like held up English football like what we have. You know what I mean? And they're the only team at the day that can talk to us in that way. You know what I mean? Your teams like your Arsenal, your teams like your Chelsea, your teams like your Man City, they can't chat to Mans. You know what I mean? They cannot chat to us. Yeah. But Man United can. They could say, well, look, we've done this and we've done that. Do you know what I mean? Although we've done more than them, but they can point to what they actually achieved. So listen, but they're dead food at the moment. They're dead food. Listen, if he went to United and they right, he'd be ruining his career. I'm telling you, he'd be ruining his career. He'll go to United. He'll go to United, and he would literally feel it. And I've made a damn mistake here. Even Amron at the day last season, and they right, you could tell even Amron felt he made a mistake. Do you know what I mean? And the only thing would have been at the day right is like if he left, I mean, he would have got nothing, innit? He would have got nothing. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Must have them being sacked. Do you know what I mean? If I think he'd rather get sacked than sort of leave. You know what I mean? Because if he gets sacked, they're gonna have to pay him compensation and all the sort of things there. But Gyökeres at the day, right? Gyökeres coming to Liverpool will be such a perfect fit for him. Seriously, it'd be such a perfect fit for him to come to Liverpool Football Club. I'm telling you. Do you know what I mean? Him go to United, that'll be, it could happen. Probably it could happen. But like that would be a huge mistake for him. Huge. I'm talking massive, massive mistake for him. Seriously.
I've said for the longest time, I actually don't think Liverpool sign a striker.
Okay.
I don't. Even if Darwin Núñez is sold and Luis Diaz, I've said my thinking is the club look at the striker pool as Isaac and Alvarez it. They don't rate the next crop of strikers, whether that's Sesko, whether that's Hugo Ekitike, whatever. But I think they highly rate the left wingers, i.e. your Gordons, your Nico Williams, your Rodriguez who's available. I think we sign a left winger rather than a striker, and we go and get a striker next season. Because we don't actually need a striker, really. We can go and get a left winger who can bag goals.
Yeah, yeah.
We actually don't need a striker.
Well, then you're looking at Shirky, then, aren't you?
Like for me, with Rodrigo being available for what 80 million, 60 million up front, 20 million add-ons, I'm moving straight in and all in for Rodrigo. That's that. Or you go and get me an Anthony Gordon, a player at a rate as well.
I rate him, I rate him highly, Not many people do. I rate him.
What, Anthony Gordon?
Yeah, not many people.
I do. I massively rate him.
Yeah, I rate him because the thing is with Anthony Gordon that he's versatile along the front three. He can play left, center, and right. Do you know what I mean? What's not to rate with that? I just don't get it with some people. There are people out there that don't rate him, seriously.
Like for me, if we signed, let's say, Gordon, Rodrigo, even someone like a Bradley Barcola at PSG, another man I'll take. We don't need a striker, theoretically. We just need it doesn't matter if it's a left winger that comes in and scores goals or a striker that goes scores. Liverpool actually haven't struggled to really score goals this season. We just need someone to help Salah take a bit of the pressure off him, so he's not having to constantly deliver at his current age now for the next 2 years. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like I've got a weird feeling we don't get a striker, man. I really do. Because otherwise, if the striker's so high on the priority for Liverpool, why have we been linked with strikers?
Yeah,
Maybe,
I mean, we was linked with Ekatike. We was linked with him for a while. Do you know what I mean?
those links have died down. I think if
Chelsea,
Newcastle had got Champions League, I think we would have gone all in for Isak and all guns blazing, but they're not selling him. And the only way possible we get an Alvarez is if we sell Darwin to there and we give him cash. But then why would Alvarez want to leave? He's only just gone there a year ago.
Yeah, I get you, but I get you. I still think when it comes to Atletico Madrid, you can sort of like negotiate with them and you can work out deals with them still because but like yeah, there is that, I mean, getting wingers and that can, come in and score and blah blah blah. But then we'll be just like Arsenal, isn't it? Because Arsenal, that's the same problem that they had. Excuse me. That's the same person that had problem had last season and the season before that didn't have like an outlet striker. They had wingers at the day like your Martinelli, and was it Granit Xhaka and Saka that can sort of like what I mean, coming off the wing and score goals and what I mean. What's that guy then? The number 10 they got. What's the captain they got for Arsenal? The captain.
Odegaard.
Yeah, Odegaard. I meant Odegaard, not Granit Xhaka. I meant Odegaard. They had people like him, them guys sitting there, but their goal contribution wasn't that high. Do you know what I mean? So they always fell short in certain games. Do you know what I mean? But if you got an out-and-out striker, and that like it's just gonna stay up top. Do you know what I mean? And wait to receive the ball and just hit the target. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see you in midfield. I don't want to see you in defense tracking back. I want to see you up top, waiting for that ball to come to you, and then you do your magic. You know what I mean? If they had something like that, you know what I mean? Last season or the season before, maybe it probably been different. Do you know what I mean? It'd probably been a lot more closer than what they was. You know what I mean? So the demand for me for a striker is great. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then it always comes down to sort of like, what do the people at Liverpool Football Club, what do they see? What do they looking at? You know what I mean? Are they looking at a striker, or are they not looking at a striker, or looking to sort of like, get a couple of wingers in and that, what I mean, that can sort of like do the business, you know what I mean? Because he said like last season when he looked at Salah, you know what I mean, he was literally doing it on his own, do you know what I mean? And like certain times, if he didn't score, nobody else was scoring. Do you understand what I'm getting at? You know what I mean? And I didn't like that. I really didn't like that. So
And the thing is, Diaz, he can go 4 months without getting a goal.
Yeah. And then you had Jota that didn't really have a good season last season. Injuries and form. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of the time it was like Salah doing it on his own. So yeah, you are 100% right. Salah does need help in that goal department. Do you know what I mean? We need to know it in the day. Like if we rest Salah, or Salah's not having a good game because he's getting marked out the game and that, right? We need to know there's gonna be goals coming from different departments. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying that, and they sort of like, having an out of that striker might be very important to the team. Do you know what I mean?
That's why I want Kerkez, because he just comes in and bangs. And if the club are thinking there's not that young striker, there's not many strikers out there that are available that come in and bang.
Yeah.
A lot of them are better in other areas. Like
Yeah.
Hugo Ekitike, I personally think he's better at his link up and stuff like that. He's not really known for his finishing. Sesko is not known for his finishing, obviously. And that's something I think the club are probably taking into consideration for the price. Is it worth spending 100 million euros on an unproven Hugo Ekitike? We've learned from that mistake in the past, i.e. Darwin.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's something I'm really intrigued. And then, so do you honestly think we'll sign 100%? We'll get a striker if we sell Darwin Núñez? Because he looks like he is opening talks with Al Hilal.
Yes, I think we do. I think
And
you
who
got.
do you think will be? Have you got any rough predictions or like?
Mm. Well, you look at sort of like Ekatike, the rumors have calmed down a lot because obviously there's a Chelsea sort of like rumor and what Chelsea want to do. I think they might go for. I think they might take a chance to go for Gyökeres. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
there's no really out there. Because Osimhen, I don't rate Osimhen. I do not rate Osimhen.
I like Osimhen.
Yeah, but I think with Osimhen, he's going to cost you too much money. And then you got that what's it? The African nations quota as well. You know what I mean? You got that. So then you'll literally have two players going to the African nations. You know what I mean? Two players that's supposed to be getting you a lot of goals going to the African nations. You know, I'm not. Put it there, I'm not overly keen on Osimhen. Really, that's just me. They might look and say, look, who else is out there? Let's take a chance with Gyökeres. He's a sought after player. Do you know what I mean?
Like Terry says here, Iris and his wife hated living in England. It would never happen. I just think most South Americans, like he said, don't dream of playing in England. They dream of playing in Spain for your Barcelonas, your Real Madrid, and your Atleticos. And the fact that if he would have been there for a couple of years, it could be a different argument. And don't forget, they brought him for over 70 million last summer. It's not like they got him for cheap and then they had him a couple of years. They got him for 70 million and they've only had him for a year. Yeah. So there's no reason for why he would leave. I think Atletico would sell him because they've got Sorloth. They brought in another striker. Griezmann's just signed a new deal. I think Atletico might sell, but Alvarez, I just don't think he would come to Liverpool, in my opinion.
Not even if McAllister's there.
Sorry?
Not even if McAllister's there, he's like the international teammate. Do you think that'll sway him?
To be honest, I don't really buy into like that sort of thing. If a player wants to come to a club, they'll come to the club. A player shouldn't have to convince them. If they want to come, I'd rather a player come to Liverpool because they want to come, rather than because their international teammates said, "Oh yeah, Liverpool's a lovely club." Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather us sign players who actually want to come rather than because they're busy mates with someone. Do you know what I mean?
That's fair.
I just don't see us signing a striker. But then I could be proven wrong because no one thought we'd sign Florian Wirtz. That's the thing. I do think it's going to be interesting because I think Liverpool wants all their transfer business done before pre-season because I think Slot is going to change the way he plays football. So therefore, he's going to want all his players in for pre-season to get things well underway for the season to start in August. That's why I think once the second window opens in 10 days, I think you're going to see mad movement in terms of outgoings and incomings.
Yeah.
That's why I'm really concerned.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it, to get your transfer business done before pre-season so you can take a look at these players that you bought. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just why I'm not really concerned. I mean, if the rumors about Al Hilal will now pushing for the striker, give me 80 million. And then we're going to see what Liverpool are going to do with that 80 million, whether We use it for other areas where we actually do go and get an actual striker. Do you know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question. Not a question that I asked yesterday on my show. I put it in the chat. I put it in there sort of like as a poll. You know what I mean? On YouTube. Got a good response as well. Would you take John Duran at Liverpool?
How old is he?
He's only young. About 24, 25.
I take John Duran.
Hmm.
I like Duran.
Really, you know what I'm talking about? He used to be Villa, Colombian guy.
Yeah, I know who you're on about. Yeah, he's in Saudi now.
Yeah.
Would I take him? I would, but I don't know if I would want him as my main folk and striker point. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I would honestly go and get Jonathan David on a free transfer. I'm not as a main striker, as a backup, because if you actually look, like, I don't know why he just doesn't get a decent move this season. He bagged 16 goals and 5 assists for a Lille team in Liga.
He scored against us, didn't he?
Yeah. So I think in a Liverpool team, he would be an okay replacement off the bench and he wouldn't cost you much. And he's only 25. I'm surprised a lot of clubs are not looking at him. Do you know what I mean? I really, really am that a lot of clubs are not looking at your Jonathan Davids. Would you take him on a free?
Fuck yeah.
I would take him on a free. I think it's a good transfer.
I mean, listen,
it's free.
If you got a player and you getting a player on a free, that's sort of like bagged 16 goals and was it 5 assists or something like that, right? Yeah, you'll take that on a free all day long. Come on now, man. He's linked up with Wirtz, and he's going to be probably amazing as well. Anybody that links up with Wirtz, yeah, as a
I could link up well with Verge.
You know what I mean? You know, anybody links up with Wirtz and as a striker, and it's gonna eat. Trust me, he's gonna eat food. I'm telling you, he's gonna eat food. You know what I mean? 100%. So, listen, taking Jonathan David on a free, that's a good shout, really. It's a good shout.
I think Florian Wirtz is going to be one of the main focal points of the team, where he's our long-term Salah replacement. And I've been saying this for a couple of times on streams, that my reasoning and thinking behind Salah becoming the Salah replacement, not in terms of numbers. Your best player doesn't always have to be the best player you want to replace him in. So, for example, we don't need to go and get a right winger to become the best player in the team like Salah was. Yeah, Man City, De Bruyne was their best player. Their best player now up front is Erling Haaland, who scores their goals and assists. Yeah. Therefore, Wirtz, I believe, can do that. He's 22 years of age, face of Adidas, face of German football. His stats are brilliant for his age. If you compare them to Messi and Ronaldo at his age, they're on very similar lengths. And I just think he's going to come to the Premier League and hit it like an absolute storm straight away. I really, really do. And I think people are going to see why we got him. And I think long-term, he is our Salah replacement in terms of being our best player.
You know, would you do this idea? Would you give Darwin Núñez another season and see how he links up with Wirtz, yeah? Or would you just obviously get rid of Darwin?
Get rid. The thing is, Uncle, do you want to know why I'd get rid? It doesn't matter who's putting the chances on the plate. He's still going to miss. Salah, you could put him in through on goal. If Wirtz puts him in through on goal, what's the difference?
Yeah.
There's no difference.
Was so funny. That was so funny. That was quality. That was. It's like, it's like he still misses a bus. even though the bus stops and the bus stop open the door, he will still miss the bus. You know what I mean? It's literally one of them ones, you know. But yeah, I do get it. I do
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, he
Would you
probably
keep him for 1 year? I'll flip the question back.
nah, I don't think so. I think I've been his big mate. I've been his biggest advocate. You know what I mean? I've always come out for sort of like, you know, for Darwin. I said, look, you know, give him a chance. I'll give him one more season. Give him one more season. I've given him 3 seasons, and you know, and I think to myself, well, if you can't do it now, you're never gonna do it. You're never gonna do it and stuff. So my personal feelings on Darwin Núñez is that this league, you know what I mean, this league is too physical for him and it's too fast for him. You know what I mean? And I think
I just think he's not good enough, in my opinion.
no, I think at the day if he goes
Because you can't teach a striker to finish, and you can't teach a striker first touch. It's either you have it or you don't.
yeah, but the caveat to that, when you're in places like Portugal, places like Spain and Italy, you get time in the game to perfect your touch. Do you understand what I'm saying? This league here, the Premier League, is unforgiving. You don't get time to do that. It's either you got it, as he said, or you haven't. Do you know what I mean? In other leagues across Europe, you will get more chances than what you will get here. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I think, that's why I feel that then when he was in at Benfica, he banged at Benfica, he
Yep.
banged at Almeria. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and then plays there. He goes back to them. He goes back to Spain. He goes back to Portugal. Goes to Italy, even Germany. Right? I'm telling you, this kid balls out. You know what I mean? You know. So I was saying, and they like, I don't think he's a useless player. I just think, and he cannot adapt to this league. He cannot adapt to it. You know what I mean? Because the game's coming too fast for him, and he has to think. You know what I mean? Think on his toes more quicker than what he would like to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
One thing that pisses me off with him is his stuff off the pitch, the anger management stuff. When you're missing absolute sitters against Aston Villa and Salah's placing it on a plate for you,
Yeah.
and the fans are cheering Núñez, 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 and you just walk straight down the tunnel, go over and appreciate the traveling cop, the Instagram story stuff, all this and that. I just think he's very big egotistical, and if it doesn't go his way, he takes a Mardy. And that's something I don't want to have at my football club. I wish him all the best. You know, I wanted it to work out for him. I really did. When we were signed, I was excited by the signing of watching him in the Champions League. He excited me, but the project has failed. You know, he is currently our record transfer signing for the past 3 years, and he hasn't lived up to it. You know, the first season we gave him the pass, cool. Second season, he actually looked. I thought last season he actually wasn't too bad last season, but this season he's been shocking for me.
He's just
And
gone back and he's just regressed to what he was before, isn't it?
the time is now to say goodbye. We wish you good luck. Go and collect the bag for you and your family in Saudi, and yeah, we'll move on. And hopefully we'll bring in somebody that actually can do a striker's job. And unfortunately, that's not him. You know, if that's either Kerkez, whoever that is, we take it. Do you know what I mean? But it's just not worked out. And don't forget, this was a Klopp signing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Klopp wanted him. We wanted Nkunku. Now, I'm not saying Nkunku would have been better, but Nkunku at Leipzig at the current time was one of the best players in the league. He was.
Yeah, but the caveat to that, right? Darwin Núñez at the time of Benfica was the best in the league. You know what I mean? And then Nkunku's come to sort of like into Chelsea, and to be honest, today he hasn't done much. He's probably on the same par as like Darwin Núñez because he's been injured, and just many times. You know what I mean? So I think really today that both of them they need to go. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, this was a Klopp signing, and he has to take responsibility for that. Do you know what I mean? That he brought this guy in and it hasn't worked. He has to take responsibility for it. There's no doubt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then if you look at it, and if we brought in an Nkunku, it could have been the same thing. It could have been like a navigator thing. You know what I mean? We all remember Navigator, innit? You know what I mean?
Navigator. I was so gassed when we signed Navigator. So gassed, because I remember I was like, what, 13, 12 when we signed him. And my uncle was like telling me about him. Oh, he's going to be an absolute wonder kid from the Bundesliga and everything. And obviously injuries happened, didn't it?
A lot of injuries happened.
And then he should have passed instead of shot in that shot he had in the Champions League. That still annoys me when I see that come up on TikTok and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, just pass the ball.
Yeah, it's just horrible. And I tell you what, his best game he ever had for Liverpool was against Man United when we beat him sort of like 5-0 at Old Trafford, innit? We beat 5-0 at Old Trafford. That's the best game that Navigator had. You know what I mean? His movement, he scored
He was
goals.
good in that. He was good when we won the Champions League in that little run in the knockouts because he scored.
Yeah.
Because didn't he score one of the quickest goals in the Champions League ever? Because I think he scored in like the first 30 seconds against Porto.
Yeah, he just levered it, didn't he? He like levered it. The ball come to him, he just like levered it. Next minute, it was in the back of net. I was like, wow. You know what I mean?
The thing is, like, that's a player where injuries have killed him because it's not like he was a terrible player, just injury prone. He was a baller, but he was made of cheese. Do you know what I mean?
And I think he was older than what he was. He was older than what he was. I didn't trust what was on his passport, mate. You know what I mean?
If you're speaking on strikers, here's a question: are you keeping or selling Diego Jota?
Selling.
You're selling him.
Yeah, his availability. That's another one. His availability is not good. You know what I mean? He's got bags of ability. He's got probably more bags of ability than what Darwin Núñez has. You know what I mean? And he shows it. As well. But it's just his availability. He's like when he gets injured, he's out for 3 or 4 months at a time, maybe longer. Do you know what I mean? And then when he comes back, he spends all his time trying to get match fit. It's just too much. And I think the direction of what we going next season, when we go next season, we can't afford to carry anybody. We cannot afford to do that. Do you know what I mean? Those days of carrying our player is over. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel it today that what them guys that Liverpool have said, he said, look, you know what I mean? We're gonna listen to offers. So I mean, we can sort of like, if the right offer comes up, obviously we'll take it so we can bring in more younger, brighter talent. That's just gonna be the way to go. Because like it's no point in having a player at the end of the day, right? That's got bags of ability, but he's hardly on the pitch to show it. Do you know what I mean?
I've got a controversial one about Jota though. He played more games than he did last season. He played 34 games this season. So his availability for me this season wasn't the issue with Jota because he played 34 games in all comps, which I think is a good return for Jota. But he's declined for me in his performances. I go to Fulham away where we lost. So I place him through on goal. Jota's literally clean. All he has to do is hit it straight on the left. Hit it straight at the goal. Hits it straight at Bert Leno. For me, this season, him on the pitch, he has been dreadful. When he has come back from injuries and previously in the past, he normally hits the ground running. He has looked dreadful in certain games. It's like genuinely playing with 10 men. Like, it is so horrible to watch. Like, for me, I don't think we get much for Jota, though. That's the thing. Because his numbers aren't as good as the previous season. He's getting older now. He's 28. We know he's got injury problems as well. I actually would, if we kept him out, I won't be fussed because I just don't think we're going to get much for him. Do you know what I mean? And if he can come on and bag a couple here and there, then that's fine. For me, it's his finishing and his overall play this season has been more of an issue rather than his injuries because he played more games than last season. Like, there's been times this season where it's like, fucking, how many times have we said that get Jota off this pitch?
Yeah.
Because not because he's injured, because he's playing terrible and he can't even put the ball in the back of the net, what he's good at. We've always said a fully fit, best at Jota is definitely one of the players in the league that can win the Golden Boot. But he can't put the ball in the back. He hasn't been putting the ball in the back of the net even when being fit this season.
That's what I'm trying to say.
That's a problem for me.
It's a massive problem because you look at a situation where, you know, he's not able to put the ball in the back of it because of his availability. Yeah. Now he's available and he's still not putting the ball back in there. So probably it's the time to say, well, look, you know what, Jota, you have been a good servant for Liverpool. You've done your thing, but it's time to go now. Do you know what I mean? I just personally feel that like going forward, we cannot afford to carry anybody in the team. Everybody's got to pull their weight. You know, in order for this thing that we're doing, to work, everybody's got to pull their weight, and everybody's got to do the equal amount of share of work. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if that means sort of like, you know, defend. If you're attacking, attack. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's just so we're done because the most important thing that I want to happen next season is to retain this title and to show people that they will look. You know what? It wasn't a fluke. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was not a fluke. You know, because you know a lot of people like to say that, you know, that how fluky we are and so forth. You know what I mean? When I showed him at the day, it was not a fluke. We can do this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I 100%. I do think if the business is concluded correctly, there's no doubt in my mind that we win the league. However, I do think Manchester City will be our main competitors / rivals for the title.
Oh yeah, and without doubt, they're going to come back with vengeance, aren't they?
Because you have to think, Man City right now, they brought in Aït-Nouri, a left back that most people would.
Have they got him in now?
Yeah, he's here we go. Reinders is here we go. Cherky looks like it's going to get over the line. Plus the corporate players that they've got now. If they go and win that Club World Cup, they get 160 million. You're telling me Man City aren't going to go and spend again?
Yeah. Because
you know,
certain rules that are with the FFP, certain rules. Not I'll say all the rules with the FFP doesn't apply to them, but it applies to others.
No, you know man. If you look at Man City, they're actually doing well on the books, and that's because they sell their academy players. They do well in that market. Is the reason why they're so well on the books, you know, compared to a lot of other teams. Because everyone always asks, why is a Man City able to sell? I mean, buy players. It's because they sell a lot of their academy players. Lavia, they sold him. Cole Palmer, they sold him. Jadon Sancho, they sold him. Frimpong, they got rid of him. Do you know what I mean? And that's.
They still got like the things about this, like, you know, they still got that 115 charges at the day, that sort of like that they've got, and like people are not doing anything about it. We were supposed to get a decision at the day, so like when February of what's going to happen. And we're now in June, and we still ain't had nothing, and they're still buying players because the players that obviously you're talking about, like a Jadon Sancho, like your Lavia and all that. They've been doing that for a long time. You know what I mean? Even like Elise that's gone to sort of like Bayern Munich. He was in Man City's academy. They've had so much people in Man City academy, but like it hasn't stopped them at the day from doing their rubbish of what they've done. That's why I always say it. And the rules with FFP and like all the other rules that constrain us as a football club, don't apply to them, but it applies to us. You know what I mean? They'll quicker come to us than what they'll quicker go to them. You know what I mean? So they get to do what they want. That's why when I talk about sort of like we're a club that's won leagues and titles and stuff, and we've done it organically to what they've done. Yeah, right. That's why I'm proud of my club. because we went round and done it the right way. You know what I mean? We have accumulated money from sort of like, you know, for league positions, for like, you know, winning sort of like trophies and so forth. We've done that and we invested it back in the club. And like when it's come time to buy, we've been able to buy. Do you know what I mean? Because even now, and I'm saying, right, we can now, you know what? We could spend like probably about, we could spend over 500 million. Yeah. Yeah. We could spend that and FSP wouldn't apply to us because of the way we're doing our books. But because of the way we've done our transfers over the last 5 years, yeah, where we haven't really spent much, right? FSP wouldn't apply to it. They would not be beating our down the door because we wouldn't breach it. You know what I mean? But then you got people like Man City in the day, right? And people like Chelsea that putting people on death row contracts and stuff. You know what I mean? And they're getting away with all this shit. And anybody else that does all that stuff, right? They quickly say, "Oh no, you can't do that. You can't do that." Well, why can't I? He's doing it, isn't he? Oh well, then you know there is this with them and this and that. They start making excuses for them. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the money that these clubs at the end of the day that are pumping in to the British economy, because that's what it's been all about, bro. Yeah, from the beginning at the day when you had sort of like Roman Abramovich that come in the day with his club, and you know bought Chelsea for £1 and spent all the money. Yeah, the only reason he was allowed to do all that is because he was pumping money in the British economy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they let him, they gave him a pass. He can do what he want to do. It's only when this what's it, Ukraine stuff come up and they said, well, look, you know, we have to take a stand and do the right thing. You know what I mean? You understand? Yeah. And that was getting rid of like Abramovich. But the British economy still made money out of that. The sale of Chelsea Football Club to Todd Bowley and his cronies. Yeah. Same with sort of like Man City. It's the same kind of thing. They're propping up the British economy. So then they're never going to say anything to Man City. They're never going to say anything to Chelsea because those two clubs, right, are of use to them, right? Clubs like Liverpool, Everton, Nottingham Forest, and the list goes on, right? I'm not of use to the British economy because we're not pumping money into there, so they don't care about us. So basically, what would happen? They'll sooner come to us and point out our bad ways, right? Then go to them and point out their bad ways, and they'll be able to get away with shitloads of stuff. In January, they spent 200 million in January. Yeah, they'll probably spend another 200 million in summer. Do you know what I mean? That's 400 million they've spent. Yeah, right. Now we have teams like Liverpool and so forth have to be really goody two shoes, right? In order to spend that money, and they don't come beating down our door. You know what I mean? That's why I don't. This is the same reason why I don't like the Champions League, because I think the Champions League is corrupt now. That's why I would prefer just to win the league. Yeah, that's what I prefer to do. I mean, everybody's got their preference of what they want out of the club, and I respect that. But me, you know, I prefer to win the league. Yeah, because you know what, at the end of the day, right? The league at the end of the day, to me, at the end of the day, is more pressure than the Champions League, and you have to be more better than what you do in the Champions League. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's just me. You know what I mean? That's just my.
I mean, I've always been league. I've always been league over Champions League anyway. Me,
Yeah.
I've never once said I prefer the champs. Don't get me wrong. I respect the Champions League, and we have an incredible history based off the Champions League. But I've always preferred the league just because it's the bread and butter.
Yes.
And that's what my granddad has told me, you know, growing up from a kid. The league is your bread and butter. You should always want to win the league over anything. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I'll forever be. And plus, if we win it, it'll be 21 times. And then you'll be on 20. That's why we need it. And even when we get to 21, I still want to be above them because they ran that old gimmick, knocked Liverpool off their perch. What? Yeah. Because you went one title ahead of us. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Whoopie fucking do, because we're equal now.
Yeah. It's all.
And
It's all
we did win
now.
one for 30 years, by the way. Imagine if we was kept on winning him for 30 years. They would never be in the same league as Streets as us. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know it took Man United? Yeah, it took Man United 27 years before they can win their first title. You know what I mean? They talk about us at the end of the day, right? Yeah.
Arsenal's on 21 years.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? And it'll probably be about another 10 more, I reckon.
Chelsea's on 7. So
Listen,
uncomfortable.
Chelsea, sorry to cut across you, right? Chelsea, yeah, right? Do you realize that they won the title in 1955, yeah? It took them 50 odd years, right? Yeah. And a shitloads of money for them to win the next title. Don't let them Chelsea guys tell you anything. Don't let them tell you nothing about like their club and how your club is this and that, right? Because remember, it took them over 50 odd years, right, for them to win their next title.
I used
right?
to call Chelsea the 2000 club because they
Yeah.
became irrelevant in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they won both of their. They didn't win their first champs until what 2012.
Yeah. And look
And
at
then
all,
won one.
and look at all the money they spent. Look at all their money they spent. You know what I mean? Within that time.
This
you know
guy
what I mean?
makes as a comment. I remember Chelsea in Div 2.
Exactly. With Chopper Harris and all them mans there. Yeah, man, Chopper Harris. Hey, Chopper Harris is a bad man, you know. He's a bad man, you know. Seriously. He was nice, you know.
The thing is, everyone in the comments is still asking when do you think we'll get the here we go. Everyone is proper stressed about it, aren't they?
Next week at the latest.
It's gonna. I will happily put my neck on the line and do a forfeit, and say there will be a here we go by Tuesday.
Yes, I think so because
especially I've always said Kerkez will get done first. I think Kerkez will be here we go first.
Because remember, it's like Wirtz and he's still got to play that thing in it. He's still got to play the third place thing, the third place in it with in that Nations League. You know what I mean? So
I won't watch because I'll be too nervous and in case he gets injured.
I like what you did to Bernardo Silva the other day, man. I love it, mate.
I think I'll probably take a nap while it's on, so I'm not stressing.
Mm.
And I'll wake up and see the news.
I don't blame, but it's tomorrow, isn't it? Tomorrow the third place kickoff.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow because the finals on Sunday.
Shit.
So
how many subs are you on now, anyway, Uncle?
Let me just check.
Are you on nearly 5K?
I hope so.
Let's get him to 5K, man.
Yeah, I had a good show yesterday with I did one of my own and I did one with my good friend Fuzzy. Do you know what I mean?
All right.
He's a good pat behind.
I was watching your show yesterday, but I didn't comment. There was a person in the comments I remember I saw, and I can't remember his name. You used to do shows with him, but he went away for some time. I can't remember his name. This was like years.
Kieran.
What did he look like? What did he look like again? Because it might ring a bell.
Was he actually on the show?
No, he was always on your shows like back in the day and stuff. And he was always a good laugh.
Black guy or white
guy? I can't remember. Like, but I saw his name in the comments.
It must be Kieran.
It rang a bell.
I'm gonna have to call this guy back in a minute. I have to call this guy back in a minute. Yeah.
Busy man, yeah.
No, just that's Coppish Cow because we're supposed to do a show, so he's probably
fair.
He's probably phoned to find out when we're gonna do it, whether it's gonna be today or tomorrow. What was I gonna say? It must be Kieran, an Irish guy. Because I used to have
his name was Bavs. Was his name
Bavs? That's Bavs.
No, he's not an Arsenal fan. He's a Liverpool fan though. It's like LC something in the comments, something like that.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he
I know
used to
you're
do
talking about
YouTube with you.
Mauritius guy. I know you're talking about. Oh God, I know that he's
No,
LVFC or something like that, isn't it?
yeah.
And he's like he's kind of like brown skin, and he's brown skin, and he's got
Yeah.
yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, because I was wondering for time, like, what the fuck happened to him?
Yeah.
Like, did he just like? Is he all right? Do you know what I mean? Because pretty sure he had a YouTube channel as well.
He did as well. He did.
Do
Yeah,
you
he's all
still
right.
chat? Do you still
Far
chat
as I
to
know. Yeah.
John, the Scottish guy?
No, I don't really talk to him.
Yeah, I've not seen him for time neither. He was. I always thought he was.
He's a nightmare. He's a nightmare.
Yeah, I always thought he was a bit. You know.
Yeah, he's a nightmare. Put it this way, true, we're on live, you know what I mean, and we're on YouTube. The only way to discuss him, say he's a nightmare. That's a polite way of saying it. You know what I mean? He was a nightmare. He's a nightmare. I'm just like, I severed all ties with him.
Yeah.
Still, I went several times with him.
Well, if you're going live, I'll redirect to you, bro. Are you going live now, or
no? I'm not going live now. I'm not going live now. Or I have to go out round the corner to the chemist to get my mum's medication. I'm gonna have to do that.
yeah,
If I do go live today, it'll probably be much later on, probably about 10 o'clock or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And then because I want to obviously, as the numbers at the moment are kind of like not too bad. They're doing all right at the moment. I just want to sort of like strike while they're iron. So I'll probably go live later and do a show tomorrow and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, listen, it's been fun being on the channel as always.
yeah, man. I appreciate it, Uncle, man.
Listen, you listen at the end of the day, we as Liverpool supporters, and we've got a channel. Yeah, we need to be supporting each other. You know what I mean? That's just the way it goes. We should support each other. We always lend a hand to each other. If we see somebody in the day or that's got a channel that is like, you know, probably struggling, lend a hand, support the person. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know,
Like ever since I started doing YouTube, I don't care if I don't watch that person. I'll redirect them if I can help someone out with a couple of subs, views, likes, whatever. I'll redirect them. Like the past 3 days I've been streaming, I've redirected to someone different every single day. Help them out, even if I don't know them. Redirect because it might help their channel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. There's a guy called N20, not N20. I always call it N20, N90. Yeah, and he's just started up a channel today. Yeah, he had his first show today. Yeah, and the way he constructs stuff is good and stuff. You know, very good. And like, you know, I was even before when he said he's gonna start his channel up, I said, look, at the end of the day, DM me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, DM me on Twitter, and if there's any help I can give you, right, don't hesitate to ask me. And like, obviously, at the end of the day, if there's any other help that I don't know, I'm sure I can find somebody that does know. Do you know what I mean? You understand me? You know,
Yeah.
because it's all about, listen, you look at others like clubs, like fan clubs and everything, like your Arsenal and your Man United and maybe your Chelsea. If you notice at the end of the day, they all help each other, right? But when you look at sort of Liverpool community, it's lacking a bit. Why can't we do the same thing? Do you know what I mean? So it's all about.
I'll be honest. I don't do YouTube for clicks for money or whatever. I do it just because talking about football and Liverpool helps my mental health. So that's
Yeah,
why I do
man.
it. That's why
Yeah.
I do it, man. You know, if I can help someone else in the comments, like bare people in the comments watching, if they're going through the same thing as me, and it helps them, then I feel better. Do you know what I mean?
Why not? Because that's what I'm trying to say. Because what it is, you know, it's a release, isn't it? It's a release that you can come on sort of like a channel and speak your mind, and you know, it's a release. That's the way I see it. Sometimes it's a release at the end of the day. Yes, it does. It does well for your mental health. You know what I mean? You know, because if you're just doing the same thing every day, like you know, looking at four walls and this and that, listen, you know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
like very enjoyable because sometimes at the day, like sometimes when I do a show and I come off the show, whether I'm doing my own show or like I'm on somebody's channel or whatever, when I come off it, I feel so much better. I feel like I'm buzzing. You know what I mean? You feel that buzz. You literally feel like you just want to do another one, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Straight
yeah.
away.
When I end the live, I'm always like, I just sit back and I'm like, flipping out, that was good, and then I'm like itching to do another one.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like checking my phone, seeing if there's more news. Yo, can I
Yeah.
any excuse to go live, innit?
1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Stay there, don't move. Yeah, so like you just feel a lot better, my friend. You feel a lot better. And listen, if it works well for your mental health, bro, keep on doing what you're doing because you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. It's really good. I like your content. You know what I mean? And like obviously at the end of the day, even if you don't see me in a chat, don't mean I'm not watching. You know what I mean? You understand
Nah,
what
I
I'm saying?
appreciate your time, man. Like, honestly, I
Yeah,
appreciate your time coming on because you've been on for over an hour. You didn't have to. Do you know what I mean? That's
man.
just That's just being kind. Do you know what I mean? Like, I got asked to go on a show last night, and I'm going to be going on there on a weekly show from next week. So I've had like some big people like add me on Twitter and stuff, but it's
Yeah,
not even about like trying to collab with big people. If I don't care if that person's got 500 subs or 500,000 subs. If you're a nice bloke, I'll have you on my channel.
yeah,
Do you know
facts.
what I mean? If you've got thousands upon thousands and hundreds and thousands of subs, and I think you're a twat, you ain't coming on. But it doesn't matter how many subs or views or clicks or likes or whatever the fuck you get. Do you know what I mean? If I think you're a nice person, as long as you're polite to people in the chat,
Yeah,
you're not, spreading horrible shit like bullying, sexism, racism, stuff like that.
yeah,
You're welcome on my channel. Do you know what I mean? That's just the basic rules I have, and those
yeah,
should be the rules that people should have anyway.
yeah, yeah. There's a guy that you should link up with as well. There's two guys that I can like say off the top of my head. My friend Fuzzy, LRFC forever. He's good. He's a really really good friend of mine. You know what I mean? Really good friend of mine. Like he's we're such good friends. Like next year, I'll tell everybody this. Next year, when it comes to Ramadan, I'm doing Ramadan with him. Do you know what I mean? He's a really
What
good
did you say his channel was? Sorry.
LRFC forever. LRFC forever. You know what I mean? Lovely guy. That's what just phoned me just now. Just there now. Lovely guy.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've just seen the channel. Is it LFC Red Forever channel? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. That's the
I
one.
raided him yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, he's a lovely guy. He's a lovely guy. He's a lovely guy. I don't know. You and him will get on well. You and him will really get on well. Then you got Anfield Irishman, which is good.
Yeah, I've
He's a,
heard of him.
yeah, he's a good friend of mine as well. Do you know what I mean? Those are two at the day off the top of my head that I can think of that you should link up with if when you got the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Because I won't ever tell you to go to any like fucked up people. Excuse my language, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
don't worry
I will always send you to sort of like decent people that I feel is decent. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, these are guys at the end of the day that sort of like you know what I mean. I got love for as friends. You know what I mean? So like, listen, at the end of the day, I will never put you with people at the end of the day sort of like for the sake of putting you with people. You understand me? You know what I mean? I don't do that.
Yeah, I
But
appreciate that.
yeah, man. Listen, it's been great. And listen, which show are you going to be on later? Which one is it?
No, it's from next week.
Well, let me know what it is, and I'll take it. I'll take a peep in more. I will
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
There's like a
I will
load of
do that.
guys on there, just chat ball from all different clubs around Europe. So
Yeah,
yeah,
listen. Whenever it's on, listen. I'll be in the chat, showing my support, bro. You know what I mean? But listen, love and respect, and you have a fantastic weekend. You and your family. Take care, bro. Love and respect, bro.
appreciate it, Uncle Man. Yeah, yeah, and the same goes to you, bro. Let's get Uncle to 5K subs. We've got over 80 people in the building. If you're watching on the playback, I'm gonna put your channel link in the subscription anyway, so people can find your channel and stuff and get subscribing to you. So
love for that, bro. Love for that, man. Love for that, man.
always,
And
bro. Always, man. Like the
keep up
chat always.
I was gonna say, keep up the good work, man. You're brilliant. You're brilliant. You keep up the good work, man. What you're doing, and then day is working, and you're brilliant. Keep up the good work, and don't ever change. Just stay you. Just stay you, bro. Just stay you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will, bro. I will
Love
do,
and
man. I
respect.
appreciate the kind words, bro. Have a blessed weekend, mate. Have a blessed weekend.
Same to you, bro. Take care. Love and respect.
Big up to Uncle, man. Big up to Uncle joining the show, people. Let's get his channel link in the description. So, yeah, so if anyone wants to go and subscribe to Uncle Rod's TV, I mean, you should be anyway. So let's subscribe to him. I'm going to get his channel link in the subscription. Bear with while I put this in the subscription. Subscribe to... right. We've got his channel link in the subscription there for you people. People, it's been a blessed show, man. We've done, 3 hours today? 3 hours of streaming. Big up, man. We've had over 8,000 people watch. Blessed for every single person. 173 likes. People smash that like button. Get subscribing to the channel because, yo, we're grinding. We are grinding with 5 subs from 1,410. So if you have not subscribed and you want to see the latest content and you like the content, get subscribing and have a blessed weekend. Who shall we raid? Who's live? Anyone that we should raid? We'll raid them. Are they live? True Gooner's live. Let's give someone a raid who hasn't got many people watching. Who shall we raid? Who should we raid? Who should we raid, people? Who shall we raid? I will stand up. But quickly, what was that thing about the Everton fan in the comments? Yeah, big up to Coppish every time. What was it? So wait, what was he chatting shit about? What was he chatting shit about? I want to know. But yeah, people, can we push for 180 likes? Get subscribing if you want. Uncle Rod's channel link is also in the description. So, yeah, we can do that. Who's live that we should give a raid? Who shall we raid? Let's have a look. Let me have a look on my phone. Who is live? Who should we go and send some viewers over to? We got them. Who's live? Z live. Who is live? Let me have a look. Doesn't look right. Looks like nobody's live. I will be honest. Looks like nobody's literally live. The size difference between Verge. So I guess I don't know. I'm not actually making. I don't know what's going off in the chat. But yeah, people, we're gonna raid. We'll raid Josh. He's an Arsenal fan. Good guy. Let's go and give him a raid, people. But yeah, people, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you have a blessed rest of your weekend. And yeah, big up to every single person that has liked, that has subscribed. Views on sport. Thanks for the raid, bro. Don't worry about it, mate. I'm always here to help people. Do you know when I can, mate? So yeah, big up to yourself, bro. Everyone go and subscribe to him as well. Good guy. I was watching his channel yesterday. And yeah, go and send some, go and raid Josh up, who is an Arsenal fan. And yeah, big up to everyone. What Kerkez has done, is it? What have we had a here we go? Nah, there's no here we go. But yeah, people, take care of yourselves. Smash up the likes. Go and smash the likes on Josh's stream. Take care. We are out.